right here. Poindexter Lounge, shout out to your player. Hope you're doing all right out there. Poindexter Lounge says, "Ray, we need to talk movies sometime." We certainly can. I mean, I'm not a huge movie aficionado, but I'd be open to something like that. Give me a little bit of time. I won't forget about your player. Let's go. Um, Poindexter.
What's up, nerd family? Welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is Larry Bird. You know me. I'm that all-star basketball player from the Celtics that, scored tons of points and was an MVP and in the Hall of Fame. This was what was said once about me by John Stockholm. I remember as a rookie, Larry Bird walked by our bench and said, "I feel like 43 tonight." Then he came out and scored 43 points by the third quarter and checked himself out. That's Larry Legend for you. Oh, yes, ladies and gentlemen. Shh. Don't you worry your pretty little heads about it. It's Larry Bird, and I feel like 43 tonight. Yes, I do. And so I got my Larry Bird pop right here. That's 77, though. If you see right there, that's 77. But I got this little guy, and so I'm a happy man. I'm a happy Larry Bird. I don't even know what the resemblance is, but you know what? I'll take the compliment all day long. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome once again to the Poindexter Lounge. My name is actually Enosh, a.k.a. Enosh Vet, and it is good to have you with me in the lounge today, brought to you in crystal clear 1080p, because that's how we do it around here. We love you guys so much. We want you to see everything clearly. That's how we do it here at the Poindexter Lounge. We try to be very clear about everything we do. So, hey, welcome. It is good to have you guys with me tonight. If this is your first time to the lounge, just know that the Poindexter Lounge is a place for nerds. It's a place where you and me and my crew can get together and talk about all the things that we love. Things like TV shows, movies, games, sci-fi, fantasy, comic books, superheroes, toys, all kinds of crazy stuff in the news and stuff. We can also offer a place for you guys to come on board and talk to us about what you guys love to talk about. And that's a little bit what tonight's going to be. I also have some great panelists, and we're going to discuss some different stories. And then we'd love to hear your thoughts on pop culture, entertainment, stuff that's going on. I mean, we got a lot of stuff going on right now. And so we're going to get into all that stuff. And if those are things that get you going, then please hit that subscribe button, hit that notification bell, and join up, man. Become part of this awesome movement. All right. It's going to be a good time. And we want you guys to be along for the ride. All right. So like I said, I've got a couple of great people waiting for me right now, and I'm going to bring them in just a second. I do want to remind you of something that's happening. And look, guys, if you've ever listened to anything I said, I can't wait for this event right here. Deck the Hall of Justice. Oh my gosh. I can't even tell you how excited I am for this right now. I can't even tell you yet how excited I am for this. But right here on the 20th, December 20th, starting at 8 a.m., you're just going to want to clear your whole schedule, starting at 8 a.m. all the way to 1 a.m. the next day. Wall-to-wall coverage, starting off with Den of Nerds, multidiversity, Moldiversity, I'm sorry, Women of the Watchtower, World's Finest, and then 1 to 3 p.m. I don't know what anybody else has planned, but I know it's going to be awesome. I know it's going to be fantastic, but we'll come back to 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern time. But 3 p.m. to 5 p.m. is for nerds. You know those guys. League of Mayhem, Reel in Motion, Comic Book Debate, The Film Junkie and Chris Wong, and our good friend Matt at Lightcast Podcast. Hashtag Why We Fight. Use the hashtag right there. Also use the hashtag Us United. This is going to be an all-day event raising money right here for the American Foundation for Suicide Prevention. We want to help them get over the hump of this challenge. It's been put out, and you guys can help us that day. It's going to be an all-star studded day of broadcast, but I'm just going to tell you this right now. If you have been a fan of the Poindexter Lounge, you are going to want to be here from 1 to 3 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sunday, December 20th. So all I can say, more information will be coming out shortly, but trust me. Okay, just trust me. And here's the thing: you can actually be a part of this. You can actually, you know what? You may say, "Well, I'm not getting to host one of these things." That's fine. You can actually submit a video by this right here. You can record a 10 to 15 second video of yourself saying a few words of appreciation and gratitude for Zack Snyder and the whole movement, as it were. And all you got to do, there is a link down in the description of this video, and that link will also be in descriptions of videos going forward, where you can follow that link. It's going to take you to a place where you can upload. It's a Google share. You can actually upload. Here's the upload instructions right here. You just upload your video using your name and your username. Or you reply, then you reply to the tweet with hashtag us united, hashtag why we fight, and retweet the thread so more people can participate in the event. And then once you do that, you just upload your 10 to 15 second video, and you can be a part of Deck the Halls, because we Deck the Hall of Justice, because we will be playing those sporadically throughout the day of different people, and hey, why we fight. You know, and we're here, folks. We have attained this. It's right here. We are on the cusp of the Snyder Cut and a lot of great things. And so before we jump in, I do want to say a special shout out to all of our Patreon subscribers. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. You all know who you are. Thank you for your support. You guys really help us here at the Poindexter Lounge, and to everyone who gives super chats. I can't tell you how thankful I am. It's humbling to me. This channel is not about raising money for the channel. This channel is about having fun and being a nerd family together. But you know what? There's certain things that we do here that when you guys help out by giving super chats and stuff, just like right now, we're able to be in 1080p because you guys, you know, give every month, and we're so thankful for that. And also to our members, come on, members, you guys are awesome. We need a couple more members, and you can get in for as little as $1.99. You get a cool badge, and you get to use the cool emoticons that are in there. And all we need is a couple more, and we can upload a couple of more emoticons. And then just in time for Christmas, we got some great new Christmas. Well, they're not Christmas shirts, but just in time for the holidays, we've got some great new shirts and stuff that you can get that I believe you can still get delivery by Christmas if you celebrate Christmas. And we got the Nerd Family shirt. We of course got our 2 cents on nonsense shirt. This, I believe, is going to be a favorite there for a while. It's our weird nonsense shirt, and that one I absolutely love. And then we got a ton more. Like I said, we got all kinds of different designs, all kinds of fun stuff, from the classic stuff. We got one up there. That one that's right here is a fun one because it's got all of our names. And then you'll notice, because it says Enosh, Fett, Tiftastic, you know, it's got Isaac One Kenobi, Landon Calrissian, Logan the Hutt. It's got Wookie the dog. It's got Harley the dog. And then it says me and me. Hashtag Nerd Family. So you could be a part of that. And so those are all there. All the links to those are in the description below to our Teespring. And hey, thank you. Thank you for your support. That being said, we got some stuff to talk about tonight because lots of news going on, lots of fun stuff. And plus, we're going to take some of your calls as well. So just a second. So tonight we're talking about, first of all, just got a couple of stories we're talking about, things that are going on. And to help me do that tonight are my good friends, Brian, Master of None. What's up, Brian?
Not much, Enosh. How you doing, man?
Dude, I'm always doing great when I see that you're in my backstage area and you are going to be on the show, because I know one of two things. One, we're going to get insightful commentary. And I have to say, man, I thought you did a tremendous job the other night when we were on with all the ladies and stuff, and everybody was talking. Like I felt kind of bad, but I also felt like because you didn't talk a lot, but when you talked, it was very much to the point. It was very succinct, and it was good. And like sometimes we just, even me, it's like we got to just back off. We got to let the ladies talk, and do
Yeah,
their
that's
thing.
kind of how I was approaching that one. I was just like, you know what, everyone's gonna have time for the floor, so just
Exactly. Well, hey,
sit back, say what I can when I can,
But I appreciate that. So I always know that I'm going to get excellent commentary out of you. Plus, I know that if Silent Scotty's here, Silent Scotty is going to be absolutely over the moon, and Silent Scotty is going to be having a good night because Brian Master and None is in the house. So Brian Master and None.
And TW is here too. Shoot.
Heck yeah, everybody's here. So also, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Matt Jarbo from Parts Unknown. What's up, Mr. Matt Jarbo?
Oh, I've had an interesting night.
Me too.
I literally, I don't know if you guys can hear me okay or not. I'm using my headset. Not okay.
Yeah. We can hear you all right. I mean, it's not as good as your normal $450, beautiful, sweet sounding, bassy.
But this is like $200. I'm a little bit like the quality should still be pretty decent.
Okay.
I just got off a 75-minute phone call where I was interviewing a woman out of Missouri who has been accused of murdering her boyfriend after he disappeared from her home in June.
Whoa.
She reached out to me because I covered the story, and she was like, I want to clear up some stuff. And what she told me, I recorded because I told her I'd be recording, but she said some stuff that I cannot release.
Oh, wow.
Not that she's incriminating herself specifically. However, it's not that, but it's like, she's like, I hate it when people point fingers. And then she literally like points fingers at,
oh boy.
I mean, she goes as far as to claim that one person could have potentially put out a hit on this guy because he's done it before.
Dang.
And I'm all like, wait, what? And she's like, and this dude is like a power player. Like, he is rich beyond belief. And I'm like, I don't know who any of these people are, but I feel like I'm in a Fletch movie, like, so yeah, it's been a very weird and eye-opening evening. That's
wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So let's talk movies.
Yeah. So we got an interesting thing here. I did put the link in the description. No promises. I'm just going to say this up front. A couple of rules about getting into the discussion. One, I cannot make a promise that I will get you in. I will try to get you in depending upon what we're talking about and where we're at in the show, and also how tired I am at that point. But we will try to get you in. And then also, if you do come on the show, remember to be respectful. Remember to keep it to the point and have fun, right? Have a good time. And so rounding out our initial panel though here tonight is a guy who he's an enigma. He's a mystery to us all, and we're still trying to figure him out. But we love having him on because he's a great guy, and he's always got some great takes on stuff, and he's a lot of fun, and he is a little bit of a mystery sometimes, but we like it that way. Mr. TW McKay, what's up, sir?
I'm good. I'm not lying. For the first couple seconds there, I had no idea you were talking about me. Like when it came to the Enigma thing, I'm like, who else other than me is this confusing mystery wrapped in?
What I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, man. That's what I'm saying. I do want to say a shout out to a couple people. What's up, Thomas? Good to see you, buddy. What's up, Jeff? Good to see you. Always good to see you, man. To my lovely wife who is upstairs. Hello, lovely Tiftastic. You are always you're always here and hovering around, and we love to have her on the stream, but she's getting ready for bed because she's got to work in the morning. I got to work in the morning too, but I'm still here with you guys. What's up, Cisco? Good to see you, Cisco. What's up, Christopher Barker? All I see is a Funko Pop. That's how we start sometimes. What's up, Steven? Says love the Ray Fisher intro, very awesome. Hashtag I stand with Ray Fisher. Hashtag us united. Absolutely. Christopher says Enosh, Superman, and Wonder Woman are the best couple. Oh, Christopher. Oh, Christopher. Oh my gosh, that hurts. It hurts. But I love you anyways. All right. Music Man says, hey Enosh, how are you? I'm good, man. How are you? Rasha, ads. Did you have to go through some ads to get to the show? Good to see you, Rasha. Let's see. What's up, Gillis 15? Good to see you. Thanks for liking the tweet when I put it out. Neon Sci-Fi says, what up, Enosh? Do you finally get Ray Fisher for Deck the Halls? I don't know what you're talking about. I have no idea what you're talking about. But thanks for watching and keep watching. We'll talk about Deck the Halls later on in the week for sure. I'm working on it, Rasha. I'm working on it. I'm trying to do live streams and put out other videos. I'm still trying to put out content. While you don't know what I got to set up to get that thing going, but we'll get it going. Okay. Christopher says I call my bedroom watchtower. It's the toy box screw job. I love it, TW. That's
I had to call it. I really couldn't call it anything else at that point.
Oh my gosh, we're gonna talk about Mandalorian tonight. This is Ian Crouch says, "Hey Enosh, been a while. I'm loving the season of fan service on Mandalorian, and I'm excited to see what Snyder's cut looks like." Absolutely. Hey, it's Barcelona B. Yes, saw the stream just in time. So glad that you saw the stream and that you're here for sure. A lot of people in here. Hey, Brian, what's up? Good to see you, Brian. Hello, Brian. You know what?
Everybody.
It's just Brian's show now.
Hey guys, how y'all doing? It's good to be here on the Poindexter Lounge with your new host, Brian, the master of none. How y'all doing?
Is it the Brian Dexter Lounge?
Yeah, there you go.
Brian,
Are you a pickle?
Potentially.
The Brian Dexter. Brian Dexter. Yeah, I get. Oh, that was bad. That was so bad.
It's all right.
Thank you.
I can do that to turkeys.
Thank you. I try to tell really bad jokes.
Brian can also remember that terrible 30 seconds to Mars pun I did on Dawson's Street.
Hey, it's Qualibur says, hi everyone. Elbow cough. How did I get here? I don't know, but I'm glad you're here for sure. ACS Universe, what's good? Let's go.
I just real quick, Enosh, the
Yes,
elbow cough is a dab.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's a dab. Yeah, it's but that's how it translates. So it's just so it just helps you not be a boomer.
I
that's not.
Oh,
no. The awe was I was looking at.
I didn't know that's how it translates. I didn't know how that translates.
Down goes the Niners. I'm like, oh.
That's great.
They got worked, man.
So, what's up, Rel? Rel is one of our Patreon supporters. So, what's up, Rel? Always good to see you, my friend. Glad
Yes, I have a lot of I have a lot of dad jokes, but in my world, they're just called jokes.
What's up, Shifty Gizm? Says, boy, I got thoughts on Mando or Boba, I should say. Yes, we're going to talk about that because I tell you what, I'm hearing lots of people talk about Mandalorian like they know what they're talking about and they don't know anything about Star Wars. And I tell you what, it's starting to frustrate me a little bit to the point where I'm just like, you guys, no, it's not you even, man. It's not.
No, I'm talking about the other me.
No, I know. No. I know that. I know what you're talking about. Like, it's not even like the Mike Zeros or the Doom. It's like literally just people. And the fandom menace actually has gotten on my nerves this week. So we can talk a little bit about that. But just over Mandalorian, because they don't actually pay attention to stuff. And they start pulling stuff out like, oh, this could happen or that could happen or this person could show up or that person could show up. And it's like, oh, you people are hurting my head. Have you ever read a book? Have you ever and they're so stuck. Look, I love Legends. I'm in Legends. Somebody tried to pull out a Legends book on me this week and say, well, remember this? Because they were talking about Palpatine, and I don't want to mention whose show it was on because I like the guy. But the person on there, I commented in their stream and I just said, hey, Palpatine, we don't really know his story, his backstory. So he may not be, and they're like, well, because they were talking about that he's just evil from the start. So his story would just be boring to do a side story on Palpatine. And I said, well, you don't know when he turned. You don't know how he was brought in. And somebody pulls, and one of the panelists pulls out
Plagueis.
Plagueis. And I'm like, they're just like, well, you need to read Plagueis. And I'm like,
well, that's not canon anymore.
Dude, I read Plagueis the day it came out, and it's an awesome book. And then they took it away from me. So I know all about Plagueis. I know that book was phenomenal, but that book ain't canon anymore. So, and then they just start talking about, people thinking Luke Skywalker's coming back right away and all this stuff. I'll tell you what, I'm not saying that it's impossible. I will never say anything is impossible because look, we got Boba Fett, and we got Slave One flying around, and then they ticked me off and blew up the Razor Crest after I spent $350 on one. So you know what? You know what? But you know what? I'm not bitter like Retro Blasting, the guy Michael French from Retro Blasting. I like the guy. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Oh, we took it personally?
He is so angry. Like, I don't understand why he's so angry. I could do a whole episode on that dude because I would just love to have him on here because I like him and I just want to talk to him. And like, he literally went off on me last week on Facebook, and I'm like, oh, come on, man. That sucks, man. He's like calling me names and stuff and saying that I don't get it and all this stuff, and that I'm like dodging his statement just because I said I liked something. And I'm just like, dude, why are you so angry? I like you, man. Like, stop. But yeah, he doesn't even watch Mandalorian, he says, and he's ticked off that they blew up the Razor Crest and because Hasbro. You know, he's blaming Hasbro for, because Hasbro just did this whole campaign to get people to spend money to finance the Razor Crest, which I was part of, and Tiffany let me do. And I'm still excited because I'm getting the Razor Crest, but still yet, did I scream no when I saw that? Yeah, because I like the ship, but I want it to stick around. But you got to kind of blame Filoni, don't you? You got to blame Filoni and Favreau for that. You can't really blame Hasbro, right? I mean, Hasbro didn't blow it up. I don't know. Anyway, that's a whole other...
I mean, like, it comes back, by the way, right? Like, because the Razor Crest is actually in the final, that one shot of all the Rebel ships in Rise of Skywalker.
No, it's not. Apparently.
I thought it was.
No, so that's what they're saying now. That's what they're
Google.
That's what all the Fandom Menace people now are pissed off about.
I could have sworn.
I know
that that maybe it was another Razor Crest. I don't know. Like, here's
that would have made sense.
I'm not saying that there's not going to be another Razor Crest. That's what I'm hoping for.
But
now
all the Razor Crest.
But now they're saying that it's not.
I'm not mad. I'm not mad that they blew it up. I'm like, it makes sense that they blew it up. It's actually tactically sound that they blew it up.
Yes.
You know, it's like, oh, they put a tracking device on it. Oh, what are they just going to follow it there? Is he going to get away? And then, boom, like, nope, subvert expectations. Nope. All right.
Heck
You just outlast Jedi, The Last Jedi.
Yes.
Like, all right.
I'll tell you what. So here's the thing about that. So a part of me is really ticked off that they blew up the Razor Crest. And then part of me is like, I kind of like that because it takes us on a different path than I would have thought. You know what I mean? And
the way I look at it, it's like there was always an Enterprise A.
Yep.
Yep.
That's true.
Yep. Can I just say something about Cup of Malik here? This guy knows his stuff right here. I tell you what, every time I'm ever like when he's here, he knows his stuff, and I love that. But like I see when I'm lurking on other people's shows and stuff, and I'm just watching, and I see this guy's comments and stuff. What I can't remember what it was, Cup of Malik, that I told you. Was it yesterday that I saw your statement, and I was like, dude, you are so on. And so yeah, for sure. Oh, my favorite commenter with the super chat, with the $5 super chat,
coming through with the greatness.
Who always does this stuff because he knows I gotta say it now that he gave the $5 super chat. So, ladies and gentlemen, Tom Hanks Ballsack 69, he with the $5 super chat says it's not a party without Tom Hanks Ballsack in your face.
No,
that's a very liberal Hollywood thing to say.
I'm just saying. Thank you, Tom Hanks Ballsack 69. He. I love the fact that it tags on. It doesn't. It's not just like the name. It's the he because it's like
the fact that he knows it's funny too.
Yes,
it's just David S. Pumpkins. I know. Yeah.
Yes, it's like he told the joke and he's in on the joke all at the same time. So thank you, Tom Hanks Ballsack. All right.
He's nuts. I know.
So yeah, so you know what? I'm sorry. I apologize. I just saw him pop up. Ladies and gentlemen, bringing the fire, Mr. ACS.
Hey! What's up, buddy?
What's up?
What's
Anthony?
good?
Hey, brother.
Man, I was chilling,
Back
man.
again.
So I'm so sorry, man. I saw you pop up, and then I saw the super chat pop up, and so I totally forgot to get back to you.
Totally good, man. Totally good. I've just been sitting back here listening, and so
so we're talking Mandalorian right now, and then I
Which
got
is
some
fine.
other stuff that I do want to talk about, like with all the stuff that's going on with Warner Brothers right now, and then today with Christopher Nolan coming out and talking about it, and now Legendary Pictures getting involved. There's some interesting takes there, but on the Mandalorian tip. Shifty Gizm here says, Luke makes more sense than Ezra or Mace at this point, to be honest. I still think that it may be Cal, given Shameless is ending. So here's my thoughts on this. And you guys tell me, but this is what I'm looking at. First of all, Mace Windu's dead. There ain't nothing. You're going to literally have to show me Mace Windu for me to believe that Mace Windu is alive. And here's why.
Seconded.
I go back.
Yeah.
And I know that there are people who've given me a hard time about this for some reason. I don't know why they're giving me a hard time about this. They're like, well, you're not looking at it from a certain point of view and all that stuff. And I get all that, right? But here's the thing. Yoda is very clear when the whole point of Return of the Jedi is the fact that they needed to return, right? And so Yoda says, Luke, when gone am I, the last of the Jedi, will you be? Okay. Point blank. Pass on what you have learned. Right. It's right there, man. I don't know. Brian's ticked off. I ticked him off. He's a Mace Windu. But no, seriously, so I have to go back to that, right? Is that at that point in time, official Jedis are no more. Now, people have come at me with that this week, and I actually had a conversation with the guy. Started off, it could have gone either way, but we ended up becoming friends over it on social media. But because we respected each other, and I love that. I love it when people can have differing opinions and yet still have respect for each other. Now, here's the thing with the Jedi. In canon, there's no such thing as gray Jedi. They're not a thing. That's a fan thing. You are either a Jedi or you're not a Jedi. You're not a dark Jedi. Look, I get it. I'm right there with all the kids from the 80s who go, but all the magazines and stuff called Darth Vader a dark Jedi because they didn't have anything else to call him. Every once in a while, you would see this little thing that we didn't even understand what it was when they was called a Dark Lord of the Sith. But that was it. We didn't know what the Sith was. We didn't know. And I would see him called a Dark Jedi, but that is not a thing. You're either a Jedi or you're not. And the best way I can relate this to is if you say you believe in God, that does not make you a Christian. That does not make you a Muslim. That does not make you, a Jew. Or from the Jewish faith. What it does is it means you believe in something higher than yourself, but it doesn't identify what it is, right? And so the thing is, being a Jedi is a specific thing. It's a religion, basically, of sorts. Right. It's
called
basically
as such multiple times.
Exactly. It is something that you have to choose a certain path. It's a certain regulation of your senses, of committing yourself to a certain ideal and a certain thing. You can be a Force user. I am not saying that at the time that's right now in the story of the Mandalorian that there aren't Force users out there, that there aren't people who watch out, ACS. It sounds like something's going to crash into your house, buddy. Was that you? was that an airplane over your house?
No, I'm looking at my phone. I'm wondering if it was me. It might have been me.
Oh, I don't know. I heard an airplane, and then I saw Anthony go.
No.
Crash into his house or something.
My phone did vibrate, but is that what you heard the vibration sound?
I don't know. Maybe. I thought it was an airplane. But no. So the thing is I'm not saying that at this point in Star Wars that there aren't Force users out there. But the thing is last time we saw Ezra, he was not officially a Jedi. You don't just get to call yourself a Jedi, right? Because even Luke says, then I am a Jedi. And what is Yoda? My own counsel will I keep on who is a Jedi, right? So you don't just get to call yourself a Jedi just because you've been hanging out and using the Force. That's not how it works. You have to be knighted somehow. Yoda actually went out of his way tonight Kanan in Rebels by bringing Kanan in and doing that whole Force vision thing and taking him to the temple with the old guards and all that stuff and making him realize that he was a Jedi.
I still can't believe that in canon there's like a whole dark side version of that too. Like you can live after death, as you know, they can basically, you know what I'm talking about, like the Vader, the Grand Inquisitor thing.
Yeah. So that being said, I believe that just because, yes, it's a Jedi thing for Baby Yoda or Grogu to be on Tython and to put that up there and call out. Basically, it doesn't have to be a Jedi that finds him. It can be a Force user. That's why I believe, especially with the way everything else is going, I believe that it makes sense for Ezra to come at this point. Unless they pull a whole switcheroo on us and actually get what's his name, Sebastian Stan, and and play Luke. And look, I'm all in for that. I'm not saying, guys, that can't happen. But I'm just saying, I just don't think that they're going to do that at this point. But if they do, I'll be fine with it. I just don't see him showing up. But Mace Windu, I don't believe is showing up. And Cal, at this point, I don't know if Cal would show up either, because I don't think that they're going to show what happened to him yet when they have other video games with him coming out. And
then you and I had those crazy me-level theories of like Kyle Katarn and Mara.
Yeah,
and
I mean,
Katarn makes the most amount of sense. Let's be fair.
Considering you got the Dark Troopers, I'm like, it's not a far stretch, right?
Yeah, it's like if they're going, okay, let's bring in some of the video game elements here, because I guess there's even a KOTOR reference. Like last week or something.
Tython itself, I guess, as the Old Republic MMO.
Well, but the Tython has also like been in the comics too.
Oh yeah, well it's been because it was in Afra first, and then obviously before that, Dawn of the Jedi, which I love. But
I would assume that if Afra has gone there, then we're going to go. I think there's going to be a Dr. Afra show. I think that's happening.
I hope so. I like that character.
They've been heavily hinting at that one, that Leslie Wakefield, whatever her name is, that she's
Leslie Headland, the one that
the one that the Fandom menace hates because she's a woman. I'm sorry.
Here's the thing. I don't normally throw that around, but it's like the most obvious. It was like the reason I tapped out of Fandom Menace all those years ago was back when people were claiming that Star Wars had a feminist agenda, because consecutively you had 2 films in Force Awakens and Rogue One where the protagonist was a woman. I'm like, nope, we're done here, guys. Sorry.
I don't get that at all. Like
I handed my card back.
I like both Rey and Jyn Erso. I'm sorry.
Yeah, me too. And
I like them both.
But think about Holdo. The other thing was, for example, like remember Holdo makes her speech about like the resistance and the rebellion standing for the downtrodden and the oppressed, and people tried to swing that as a political spin. I'm like, but that's literally what the rebels stand for.
Well, okay,
guys.
but the problem with Holdo was that she should have been in the Force Awakens, right?
I agree.
Or she should have sacrificed or died in the Rise of Skywalker.
There should have been more of her as opposed to just like in that one. Yeah. Like what was it? Bloodline was the novel she was in.
Yeah, Akbar should have been the one to sacrifice himself.
I do actually agree with that. As much as I like Last Jedi, I agree.
Because I mean, look, the thing is, like, and I've talked to Enosh about this. Like, Enosh and I need to sit down and have watch the movie and then have a full blown conversation about it.
Look, I'm about ready to have a sequel trilogy watch party on
Twitch.
On Twitch,
yeah,
because people keep asking my opinions, and I feel like if I do that, like I can have the once and for all. Hey guys, this is going to be my thoughts while we watch the movie. Yeah. You know what I mean? And we can talk about that, where we come from. So
no,
I would still geek out over The Force Awakens though. I still love that.
Oh, I never stopped.
Yeah. I just wish elements
Speaking of doing that, real quick, I do want to interject real quick. This Thursday night,
yes,
I'm guessing about 9:00. We are going to be, because I want to be respectful to the 4 nerds. The 4 nerds are going to be on, and so I don't want to dig too much into them. But about 9:00, Johnny and I are coming in with 2 cents on nonsense, but it's going to be different. We're avoiding these 2 guys altogether this week.
You blinded me with
letting those guys.
I'm glad to finally sing that on the show.
Yes, we're letting those guys finish their shower, hopefully with Kathleen Kennedy. And ladies and gentlemen, Johnny and I are going full nonsense, going back, and because of the holiday season, we are going to watch the original Star Wars holiday special along with you guys. on Twitch. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna start here on YouTube so that you're aware that the video is going on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to leave a video running on YouTube of some sorts so that it can send people over to the Twitch site, because I'm always worried about doing something on Twitch. That's why I haven't done watch parties on Twitch, because I don't want to lose people, and I know that you guys won't get updates if I just go to Twitch if you're not on Twitch.
Yeah.
So this Thursday, 9 p.m., we're gonna start here on YouTube, and then we're gonna transition over there. We're going to have a party. We're going to have some fun. And hey, we're going to watch the holiday special the only way that is bearable, and that is with other people and laughing and joking about it. So there you go.
Hey, at least the Lego holiday special is actually fun to watch.
That
it was great.
Oh, but the Fandom Menace lost their freaking minds over that.
Really? I've watched that thing 4 times
Didn't
now.
you see
I've watched it 4 times.
Doomcock says she goes back in time because she's the bestest ever and has to tell Luke that she's the bestest ever.
I have a question for chat, and I have a question for the panel. The whole bestest ever thing, where did that start? Like, where did Doomcock and the et cetera and the Fandom Menace
Michael
get it
Burnham
from?
Oh, I don't know where they got it from, but he started using it from Star Trek Discovery with Michael Burnham.
Oh, well, I need to watch more Discovery. I'm just not as well versed in Star Trek, so I can't really comment. But,
Yeah. No, that's kind of how I got
I like
into
Sonequa.
that.
Anyways,
Yeah,
hopefully-
Sonequa Martin Green. Yeah, she's cool.
Yes, I loved her on Walking Dead. So
Yeah, she was good on Walking Dead. I liked her character.
What's up, Zentech? Good to see you,
What
buddy.
up?
Always good.
But no,
Yes.
I was gonna say I don't know if you talked about it when my my Wi-Fi went down. My nephew unplugged the
We probably did.
Wi-Fi. But anyway, no, I was
I
just
just figured you were mad, Brian, because I was
as
talking
far
about
as
Mace Windu, and you.
Oh no, I don't. The only person I'm putting money down on it right now is Ezra Bridger, and the only reason I say this is because it's Dave Filoni. That's one of his characters.
it's not inaccurate.
And he's been chomping at the bit to put his characters into live
But
action.
did you guys see the? Did you guys see Star Wars Theory ran into the one guy from iZombie? He's I forget his name.
Yeah, Raul Coley.
Yeah, and they did
That was incredible. I know that Star Wars Explained. Alex did a Squadrons podcast with him, but that whole troll that he did was phenomenal.
Watch it not be a troll.
I know, that's what I said. I said it was going to be like a double. I said it was going to be like a double reversal or something, and it's like
the Ahsoka Tano. I mean, Rosario Dawson as Ahsoka Tano literally came from a fan casting.
yes,
You know, so it's at this
exactly.
point, it's like I think that's smart, to be honest with you. I think Filoni going like, okay, like let's see who do people like in these roles. Let's see if this works. You know, and
It would be the third time that Lucasfilm has done it since they acquired the company, since Disney acquired them, right? So,
what do you mean?
like if you count the Donald Glover thing.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Donald Glover,
yeah.
Rosario Dawson, and then Raul Coley. I think the troll was just so amazing. Like, even let's assume for a moment, let's steelman him and assume it is a troll, right? I loved the sheer depths that he went to, like, you know, going.
Now
like
I missed all
Rebel.
this. So what are you
it was
guys
like
talking about?
So basically what happened was Raul Coley on Twitter had said, I think it started with him talking about how much he loved Rebels. He's like, I love the interaction between Kanan and Jarrus and this particular orphan from Lothal for no reason at all.
I know who you're talking about. Okay,
all.
yeah, no, I know
Yeah.
who you're talking about. I know who you're talking
And
about.
then the next video where he like says, I'm not playing Ezra while the Mandalorian music is playing in the background. And he's sipping coffee.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's done a fair amount of trolling.
Yeah,
Amazing.
that is thing.
Which is why I'm leaning to believe it, right? But
I
actually,
am kind of, but it's just
but on
we'll
your
see.
point of them bringing in fan casting, right?
Mhm.
Boba Fett, flat out.
Oh yeah.
Boba Fett.
100%.
I mean, like the fact that I love that fact that Tamara Morrison is back playing the role. It's like,
Me too.
holy crap. Who would have thought he was so badass in the role? And when I was reading an interview with him today, and I like that he was talking about how we got to interject some Maori fighting in there. Some Maori
Yes.
fighting
I read
styles.
that same article. I was going
Yeah,
to bring
the
up that
haka?
same article.
Yeah,
Great
right.
article,
I mean,
yeah.
getting ahead of myself. You're getting ahead of you, I guess.
No, it's fine.
But I really like. I keep going. Like I showed my dad. So my dad is a big Empire fan. Like we lived about. Well, I wasn't born yet, but when they lived, my mom and my dad lived in this mobile home park. It was about 2 blocks away from a theater, and when they showed Empire Strikes Back, my dad saw it like 40, 50 times. He would just go keep rewatching, and so the other day he was over visiting And I was like, "Hey, Dad, you saw Empire Strikes Back a lot, right?" He's all, "Yeah, a lot." I'm all like, what did you think of Boba Fett?" He's all like, "I liked him. Too bad he died in Jedi." I was all like, and I had already I knew he was coming over, so I had it queued up already on the big screen.
Nice.
I'm all like, "Really? You want to watch this?" And he's all like, "Okay." And when I showed it to him, he's like, "Wait, what is that?" I'm like, "That's Boba Fett." He's like, "No, Boba Fett's dead." I'm like, "No, he's not. He's back, and that's him." And he's like, "Wait, what?" I'm like, "You gotta watch Mandalorian, dude. Like, you're missing out." So like that's the thing is I just love the fact, because I'm an Attack of the Clones apologist. I will fully acknowledge that. Like, I actually really like the movie. It's got some bad moments, but I think the good heavily outweighs the bad in that one. And so
even though it's my least favorite, I don't dismiss the film outright. It does have a lot of good things.
Like, I have more trouble with the Phantom Menace just for like the kiddie aspects of it, but I like how Attack went darker. It didn't go full on Empire, but it ended feeling like Empire.
Yes.
And that's what I love about it.
That was what the point, I think, was Lucas was trying to do that, right?
Never mind the fact that the whole Battle of Geonosis was awesome, and the fact that Filoni followed that up.
The Battle of Geonosis was fire.
It was so good. It was so good.
Good.
In 2005's Battlefront 2 for the Xbox, when I played the Battle of Geonosis the most,
I know exactly what
because
you're talking about.
It just felt like a massive battle, which I really loved. But no, there's even an episode of I forget which season, like one of the earlier ones, the Clone Wars, where they showed it wasn't the Battle of Geonosis, it was another battle on Geonosis.
Yes,
and that was
you're talking about.
That was some of the best action I've seen in an animated show ever, from the way that Filoni shot that.
I want to give Shifty Gizm this, and then Anthony, you go.
okay.
But so I'm not into the Mace Windu thing. But I'll tell you right now. But I'll tell you right now, if Mace Windu does come back, listen to me. Hear me now. Believe me later. If Mace Windu comes back, this does make sense.
Yes.
And I'll glad. Unlike your Mike Zeros and your Doomcocks, I will.
Can I read it?
I will say yes. You can absolutely read it. But I will say this. I just want to preface this with. If I am wrong, I'm the type of person I can come out and say I'm wrong. Yeah, I just don't think that it's going to happen. But yes, Mike Zero, please go ahead and read this to all of us.
All right, let's try this. By the way, I got to do this with that. Like, I made that joke about Psycho. We got to do that at some point. I'm going to read some Psycho dialogue at some point. Hey, look, we're bringing in the guy that was presumed dead, who killed the father of the guy we just brought back, who was also presumed dead. What if they ran into each other? And scene.
I'm telling you, it's it's scary. Like, dude, all you had to put after that was like something about like etc. guys. I mean, and so forth.
Hang on. Like the last two sentences. This will make sense.
And so forth. And oh my gosh. Just crazy.
When you get a chance, when we start talking about the DC stuff,
watch this fire.
bring up that tweet that I just posted in the sidebar.
Oh yeah,
it's a burn. It is a burn, and Gauntlet has been thrown by HBO. I'm actually really impressed.
Hang on. I'm going to give this a quick read before we go on, if that's all right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just opening, so just give me a second.
Is this from HBO?
Yes. That's from a verified Twitter account.
I'm just looking at that. I'm looking at the headline. I haven't even read the tweet. I can just read the URL.
Let me open it. Shit.
Oh, I'm sorry, Anthony, go. Anthony, you.
Hold on. No, you guys have got me interested in this thing. Yeah, this is.
But why? Why would HBO mention this?
I don't know, but wow. That's a burn, man.
Somebody put Grogu. God. Grogu has seen some shit.
Dude. Why would HBO mention this? Okay, I'm going to show everybody at home, but I'm just kind of like
no. Hey,
wow.
Legit. Hey, throw it up, Enosh, because it's
it's like that last Jedi tweet. Oh my god.
Like what? Okay, so for those of you at home, it says pick a character, any character. This is from HBO Max, and it's from HBO. It's at HBO, and
so the Shutterbox
at HBO makes more sense. Now, what was this originally talking about, though?
Okay, look at.
I don't know.
So the Stutterbox It's a meme. It's a meme. It came out over the summer where they took like a picture of Ellie from The Last of Us Part 2, and they said like, name a character who went through more pain. It's okay. I'll wait. It's a meme. So the Stutter Box did that with Rey.
Okay.
And then HBO just came back and said, pick a character, any character.
It
It
is
is such a good burn.
It's.
Oh, okay.
I'm not
So-
sure what. Hang on.
So HBO's not saying this. They just put out name a
I know,
character.
I'm-
No, they're burning. Like, so the person, the Stutter Box, is
Yes,
saying
that's
like,
yes.
yeah, he's like, name
He's
a
saying
character who's-
seriously.
who's maybe, right?
Well-
he even says, feel free to DM me while I'm wrong. So maybe he's telling the truth there, And then HBO just comes back with pick a character, any character. It's just, like,
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
so
That's a good one.
He went through some pain. Guarantee. He went through some super
Hey, look, it's Doomcock.
It's well, I can think of somebody, more than this guy who went through some pain, and that's every time we do a 2 cents on nonsense, and I got to bring out the pain on.
What are you supposed to be?
I'm vengeance.
See, that's so badass. The facial expression of the
Hey.
From the HBO thing now.
Doug
Oh,
Walker.
God.
What?
Man. Okay, this is going way off topic here, but yeah.
Leonardo gets effed by the bear. That's that entire movie in a nutshell.
So I get. Okay,
What
hang
in the
on.
world?
We've gone too far.
Oh my god.
My goodness, this is going all over the place, isn't it?
Yeah.
All right, but okay. So Anthony, what you got for us? But I'm sorry, we totally got away from what you were talking about there, man. I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
No, you're good. I can't even remember. So go.
I am so sorry. I am so sorry.
That right there, kind of that post when they saw, I was like, oh. It caught me off guard the same way it did you guys, where like it was like, oh, HBO posted this, but they just really like somebody else just commented on it. Yeah, that's
Can we?
I'm
Yeah.
definitely getting mixed messages.
Well, then
now, but it
let's
is
let's
funny.
talk about something from this episode of The Mandalorian that I
Okay.
think bugged a lot of people, including our friend Dawson, and it bugged my wife something fierce, and that is, why don't you grab the stupid jetpack?
Yeah.
heat of the moment, man.
I would. Brian, we talked about it too because Brian was on.
You
were
grab
on
the
there
jetpack, right?
Yes, grab the jet. Look, yo, I'll say this. I hopefully they give us an explanation because the episode ended and he still didn't have it. So maybe there's an explanation for it. Maybe they go back to a cut scene and it gets blown up or whatever. I don't know. But like for him not to grab it, first of all, let me run up this entire. He was running up this mountain with all that armor on. I was like, yo, I like to run, and that's just difficult, right? When it looks so bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, I run myself, so like.
We're all
no.
sitting there like, save the baby. Anthony's home like, dang, man, he's going to be out of breath.
Yeah, he's going to be done.
When Pedro Pascal wants to quit.
Oh god,
Like, God, they made me run off
I've
the
been-
field.
I've
Yeah,
been working on a
right.
Doomcock voice. Don't make me break it out.
Oh, man.
But
Yeah,
jetpack's
he's
down
getting
there,
his
goddamn.
steps in.
Hold on.
Okay,
Hold on.
go, Anthony.
Let me hear the Doomcock voice. You talking about a voice for running up the hill?
No. Like no, just like as far as whatever it was we were talking about.
Oh, okay. I would love to hear a Doomcock voice of him trying. He's
Here you
struggling
go,
up
right
the
there. Am I a joke to you? Oh, I like that.
I might be the only one that the jetpack thing didn't bother me at all.
No,
Because well, here's the thing. Like, as a parent, if your kid was in danger, what's the first thing you do? Right.
grab your jetpack.
Well, maybe
Go
in
up the
that
mountain.
moment, you're not thinking about it until it's already like you go, ah, crap, I'm halfway up the hill. Do I run back to get it, or do I just keep going, sort of thing?
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
I didn't.
Fog of war, man.
I
Fog of
don't-
war.
I don't think that's where most people's problems came with it. It was once the battle started, once the Star Troopers got, or the Stormtroopers got there. I think that's where like people's problems came with it because he just kept going back and forth. It's such a weird thing that if the pack is still just sitting there, especially when they came down. Spoilers, if you haven't seen it, spoilers. Once the what do they call them, Enosh? The Dark Troopers.
Love you, baby.
The Dark Trooper.
Yeah.
I need some hot pockets,
I
babe.
was so happy. I don't know about you.
Peace out, Tiff.
Yes, take care.
Have a good night.
No, but
I love that woman. I love
Hot
that woman.
pockets, but I need
By
hot
the way,
pockets.
ladies and gentlemen, catch my wife on.
Yeah, she'll be on there.
With the League of Mayhem with
Yes.
Ray Porter. My wife
Ray Porter.
gets to meet Darkseid before me. But ladies and gentlemen, I will be hanging out right behind that Darth Vader, right there. They told me I could come on if I wear Tiffany's Birds of Prey Harley Quinn outfit again. The long pajamas.
We're
You
not
can
going
do
down that.
it.
We're not going.
I
we're not
think I'll be
going down
doing that.
route.
I think I'll be doing that. I'll be showing up maybe. So, there you go. Anyways, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I think that's where one is is it the Dark Troopers?
Dark Troopers, yes.
Yes. So when they came down, I think that's where most people's problem is with because he could have easily called the jetpack with his because he's shown he can use his wrist pad to call the jetpack. He didn't even do it, and he just let him take Grogu and just dip the fuck off. So I think that's where like the main problem lies. Not early in the episode, but once that
there also has to be like the moment of loss. Okay, so I
Yeah.
understand people's
Oh, yeah.
complaint about the jetpack, but the jetpack for just story narrative, it moves it from point A to point B. It creates an obstacle that you would think, okay, he should have had it, and he probably should have. But at the same time, it's like once again, stormtroopers who can't hit this broadside of a barn are hitting him square in the chest every single time. You know what I mean? When he's like, so there's elements here we have to kind of
they were.
Like I said, it's kind of one of those. It's one of those things that it's like I didn't notice it until somebody else brought it up, and then even then, it doesn't bother me. It's just kind of it's going to be a meme at this point. Like it really is,
and that's fine. And that's fine. You know what? Let it be a meme because
we need equal meme at this point.
Yeah,
that was one of the funniest
But
ones.
here's the
though.
thing. Here's the thing, because it takes place before the sequels, isn't it technically a prequel? So prequel memers get on it.
I mean,
No,
I
no,
see your
no,
logic,
no.
and I respect your logic.
It's not actual logic. Don't worry.
But don't let Reddit get a hold of it.
Well, yeah. Well, no. Look.
Reddit's already got
People
on.
why are people ticked off? We lost. We lost Brian again. They pulled the cord again. Well, you started mentioning prequels, and Brian got ticked off. There you go. No. So I want to get to a couple of things because we're a little bit behind here. But with the chat, I should say. So as far as I know, Old Republic is not considered canon at this point.
All the way up.
So they're slowly bringing things back in, and my feeling is, ladies and gentlemen, by the time we really get into this thing, we're going to end up with them trying to create their own version of the heir to the Empire era.
That's how this feels to me.
With Thrawn, because Heir to the Empire takes place 5 years after Return of the Jedi.
Yeah.
When does this take place? 5 years after Return of the Jedi. Who is going to be revealed to be in charge of this whole thing by the time we're done? Over Moff Gideon, over everybody?
Kathy Kennedy.
Maybe. If you listen to Doomcock. But no, I feel it's going to be Thrawn. I mean, I think hands down it's going to be Thrawn, right? And Thrawn is over everything in Legends at this point, right? And so they did a way to bring Thrawn back into his rightful place at the right time. And guys, everybody complaining going, yeah, but the sequels are still going to happen because the sequels are 25 years after this.
Yes, yeah.
Get over it. Just like in Legends, 20, 30 years afterwards, you got the Yuuzhan Vong, you got all that stuff, I hated that stuff, right? So forget about that. But look, what's going on right now? We're getting that portion of Star Wars that we wanted, which is why I'm fine with them bringing Luke Skywalker back into it and maybe telling some of that story. And what if Luke was married to Mara Jade and he lost Mara Jade at the Jedi Temple destruction of Kylo Ren? What if? I'm just putting out, I'm not saying it is. I'm saying what if, because I can speculate too. We can all speculate. The only time that I say, look, this is not it, is when we know for sure, look, this is not happening. This is not, you know what I mean? This is not happening. This is not possible. But right now, with some of these things, they are possible. And with Thrawn being injected in here, with various things, when we're starting to see, look, we know that the Baby Yoda thing, that Grogu has something to do with the cloners, right? On Camino, because that's where they're dealing with. And what happened in the Heir to the Empire trilogy? What were they doing? They were dealing with a cloned Jedi master named Jorah Saboth, who was a little crazy, right? Because they didn't quite get it right. Because when you clone Force users,
never turns out right.
Never turns quite out right. And you obviously got to do it, because we already saw the cylinders, dude, where they're trying to make Snoke.
They're doing something.
Okay, the same person's stream that I was on the other day, I hear him talking about how they think that Moff Gideon is going to turn into Snoke, because Moff Gideon's going to like inject himself with something from the Baby Yoda, trying to do himself in and stuff like that to give himself force powers. He's going to turn into Snoke. Really?
Superman can't make leaps like that.
Are you telling me that we are a year outside of the rise of Skywalker?
Almost.
For goodness'
a couple days.
It's gonna be a year
outside of the rise of Skywalker,
11
and
days.
there are still people saying this person's gonna be Snoke. This person's gonna be Snoke. Come on, really? Nobody's Snoke. Nobody's going to turn into Snoke. They're trying to manufacture somebody like Snoke, okay? Where do you think you're going to get a crazy Jedi Master or a crazy Force user from cloning, folks? I'm telling you, this is so very interesting to me. It's very intriguing to me. That what I would love to see is Mara Jade. Oh my gosh.
Yes.
I would
I'm still pulling
but I do want
Larson to play Mara Jade.
There you go. I do want to get to a couple of these because I'm behind in these. Shit to Give says Gray Jedi doesn't exist, but shades, including gray, do exist for visual representation of Force positioning in the films. It's based on Western films. White equals good. Yeah, no, I get what you're saying as far as that, but I mean, when I say Gray Jedi, we all know what I'm talking about, right? People think that there's something called Gray Jedi. They think Qui-Gon was a Gray Jedi. They think all these different people were Gray Jedi because they weren't fully on the light side and they dipped into the dark side. No, it just means that they dabbled in the dark side too.
Yeah.
Then you have the Bendu, who's in the middle. He is neither Jedi. He flat out told him, "I'm not a Jedi. I am the Bendu. I am in the middle." Right, so there ain't none of that. Yeah, Ahsoka is not a Jedi. People keep saying, "Well, Ahsoka's a Jedi." They keep calling her a Jedi. No, at this point in the thing, she's just.
I'm gonna pull up that quote. Where's the?
She's basically just there. She doesn't challenge the fact that they call her a Jedi because that's what they assume she is. But like, I even saw somebody trying to say that the lady that she fought, who had the spear, was Darth Talon. Did you see that? That's supposed to be Darth Talon, Darth Maul's apprentice, come back?
Let's
and I was
unpack that.
Oh my gosh. I was like, oh, please. Can we? Oh my gosh. No, I can't even. Now look, if Ahsoka at some point comes back and says, you know what? I reclaim my Jedi heritage, I'll be fine with that. I'll be absolutely fine with that. I wouldn't be mad about that.
And I kind of like what Filoni said, though. I think it was during that same big interview he did. Where was it here? Hang on. I'll find it, but do feel free to continue.
Yeah. So there's just, stuff like that. Trying to think, anybody else here before, yeah, if it's a crazy white-haired guy, I'm down. Who knows what Snoke's going to look like before, right?
Yeah.
He look like a college professor. Like what? He's like,
Yeah, I mean, look, who knows if Grogu is connected with Yoda somehow or whatever. I've not even Mike Zero videos, ladies and gentlemen, this week. I have seen regular people who are usually like level-headed putting out videos saying, "Oh, I know who it was who saved Grogu at the Jedi Temple." What?
How?
You can theorize, you can speculate, but you don't know. There ain't nothing out there. I literally saw one, dude. I watched a 15-minute video and I was never so ticked off. I felt like I got Mike zeroed because I watched a 15-minute video, Anthony, of this dude. His title. Talk about clickbait. His title was Grogu, Baby Yoda was in the Phantom Menace, was it the Phantom Menace?
Was it Revenge of the Sith?
Revenge of the Sith, and we missed it, right? And so like I watched the entire video waiting for him to say like what scene this supposedly was. He never even mentioned that in his video.
That's my job.
I was like, oh my gosh. People, you're losing your mind over Star Wars. All these people are coming out of the woodwork acting like they know something about Star Wars, and they just don't. And oh my gosh. But I'm hoping at the end of the day that we're getting back to a point, and I don't think that we will. But Kenneth is right.
Junkie78 says Mike Zero will say that Snoke's actually Luke's great uncle. Get ready.
Get ready. It's happening now. Oh my gosh.
So is it like, were you watching all those Star Wars videos and getting worked up when you watched my video about movie theaters? Because
yes.
you DM'd me and I was like, damn, he's pissed. You know?
Well, no, but you know, actually, that's a whole other thing. And actually, Tiffany saw my wrath on that one because I was so ticked. We could talk about that next. But but finishing up on the Star Wars thing, guys, can we get to a point where we're like I mentioned in this person's stream, I said, because they were like, somebody literally asked me like, what do you got against the Fandom menace? Because obviously they don't know who I am. They've never seen one of my videos apparently. Yeah. And I was like, hi, my name's Enosh. I'm from the Poindexter Lounge. And no, I'm not a part of the Fandom menace, nor would I want to be, because why would I want to be a part of all that hate? To which they came back and said, what hate? Have you watched a video from any Fandom menace? Is that what they're called? Fandom menacers? Yeah. I was just like every one of them are angry. They're all angry. You know, they're all angry at Star Wars. They think Star Wars sucks and stuff. And I said, can we just get to a point where we listen to the story being told to us and we wait? Is that ever going to be a thing again, guys?
Probably
Anthony, do you think that that's ever going to be a thing again, where we're just going to go to the movies or watch a movie at home, wherever we have to watch it, and we're going to be told a story and we're going to go, oh, that's an interesting story, and wait for the next part instead of putting our own ideals on it?
Yes and no. I think we'll watch movies, especially Zack Snyder's Justice League. We'll watch that, and you know, no matter how big of fans we are of it or of his work, we're gonna watch that and be objective or whatever. But like, as far as,
but Anthony,
what's up?
What if it sucks?
Then
you remember that? You remember that?
Yeah.
The end of Fanboys?
The last line in Fanboys.
What if it's
right? What if Zack Snyder's? I keep getting asked that. What if Zack Snyder's Justice League sucks?
Fanboys is so fire. Like oh man,
yes.
I love Fanboys.
Yes.
But no, I mean, if it does, then I'm sure we'll be honest about it, because this is what we do, and we've been, and I think the fact that, like, especially since Justice Con, there's been so many of us that have just like came together in this like type of medium, as far as it's just what we're doing right now. Mm-hmm. Now, I think we'll be honest. If it's not good, we'll be honest and we'll say it's not good. You know what I'm saying? Like we'll come to the realization that, like, the same thing that happened when Justice League came out. Like, when it was initially released, so many people wanted it to be so good, so bad, that you kind of ignored some stuff for a while. But then after like a week, you're just like, wait a minute, it was kind of trash. So like it just,
yeah.
I think but at this point, we've reached a point where I think if it's not good, the instant like it's not good will come. I mean, you know what I'm saying? As soon as the fourth episode is done, the instant if it's not good, the instant I'm not gonna say negativity, but like the instant like, yo, it's not good. It's gonna come. It's not gonna take a while. It's especially because this is made for the fans. So like, the fans, as soon if the fourth episode of this comes out and we any person who watches it and they're like, yo, like this shit wasn't that good,
we'll just know it's done.
Yeah, well,
like the whole thing is done.
Yeah. We'll know it's done, but I'm saying like, if it's not good, I think that at that point in time, more than ever, the fandom will be like, yo, it wasn't that good. You know what I'm saying? I don't think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Like, so here, okay, so I agree with you, ACS, 100%, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, I think that if it's not good, then we'll say it's not good. But I think that it's going to be a long while to get to that point. But what I think is going to amplify it, and not in a good way, is going to be like people like The Corner and the Dumbass Planet that are going to sit there and harp and hack away at everything for clicks and for views, and that same kind of negativity, that polarizing content, which is what the Fandom Menace does, that's going to start permeating with people. That's going to start spreading the negativity. And so then from there, you're going to see like that be the first wave, and then it's just going to be like, whatever, man. Like, what I'm hoping for is that it's fun and that it's good. I have faith in ZACK 100%.
Oh no,
so, you know, but I've asked the question too. What if it's not good? What if it's this? You know, I've done that to Nicotine, and he's all like, "Damn it, Jarbo! Stop it! Stop it!"
How come everybody who does Nicotina's voice sounds like Nicotina? It's so funny, dude. Yo, it is.
How do you know that?
Yeah. No, it's just, but it's like, you know, you don't know what's going to happen with this thing. But I think, you know, and there's a lot of people that have built up the Snyder Cut. Let's be real. You know, there's a lot of people out there that have built this thing up to be like greater than Christ. You know, like John Lennon at the Beatles in that press conference type thing. Like that's where it's at with some people. And you know what? I feel the same way about the Mandalorian, to be honest with you. Like, buying Baby Yoda merchandise legitimately brings me joy. It's a weird place to be in my life. Like, I went to Build-A-Bear the other day, and they had a Baby Yoda and a Praetorian Guard Build-A-Bear, and I'm like, I really want. Yeah, I got 2 of them.
They got a
I got 2 of them.
Praetorian Guard, Chicky Nuggies and Hutties.
Yeah,
they had a Praetorian Guard. I got a picture of it too. It's
seriously, that's
a
awesome.
Praetorian Guard.
But you couldn't buy it. You couldn't buy it. It was not in stock, but they had it in the window display. And I'm like, but
let me get that. Yeah.
Like, can I get the Praetorian Guard? I'd buy the Praetorian Guard one. That's random enough to where it's cool. But it's like, I feel the same way about like Mando. Like, I love Mandalorian. Like, I just adore the hell out of it. And even though like
you're
this
not
last
afraid
episode.
to.
Oh yeah, no, I
You're not
openly.
afraid to criticize it. You literally made a video about how Mando's becoming a guest in his own show.
And I still rewatch every episode multiple times a week, and I just enjoy the hell out of it. You know, and I want to see what's going to happen, and I look forward to it. I think the same thing's going to happen with the Snyder Cut. A lot of people have been waiting for it, but what I'm fearful is that there's going to be some things that maybe aren't going to meet people's expectations, and then that's going to be the biggest problem. And I think that's where people like us, who are like the predominantly more positive individuals on this, are going to have to be like the kind of people that are like, okay, guys, calm down. Okay, take a breath.
Yep.
Calm down. It's all
okay.
good.
Oh yeah,
you can still like Zack Snyder, like you know what I mean. Like I see that's the thing that I'm concerned about is that like people are just going to get stupid about it and start attacking him, and that's what I don't want to see. I want to see people just look. It's a movie. It's a film. It comes out. Don't forget what got us here. Don't forget the fandom, you know, and the
regardless
good,
of
the
regardless
good that's
of,
been done here.
Exactly.
You know?
Regardless of the quality of the series involved, the amount of good things that have happened as far as the money that's been raised and the awareness that's been raised with regards to suicide prevention and other things, I think has been the best thing that's come out of this.
Oh
sure,
yeah,
we're getting an awesome, cool mini series, but we got a bunch of other great stuff done too.
Well, if you think about it, and this is the way I choose to kind of hype it up, is like this has never been done before.
Never.
And that was it's
not
a
in
fan,
movies.
It's a fan based movement that has moved literal mountains in order to get this here. And you don't hear about that kind of stuff very often. Oftentimes you hear like, oh, these petitions, they never go anywhere. But when you've got like the Jericho situation where they sent all the packages of nuts to CBS for like 6 months, you know, and
did you guys like Jericho?
Loved it.
I loved it too. I thought
Jericho
second season though sucked.
It was so rushed though. It was so
I
rushed.
know, and that was the problem. It was so rushed because they brought it back and they didn't really want to do it, and they you know, for those of you guys who don't know what we're talking about, Jericho was a TV show. It was set a post-apocalyptic. The bombs went off all over the country and everything, and so people were living in this post-apocalyptic world, and there was a great mystery behind it, and it was amazing. And who did it star? It starred
Skeet Ulrich.
Skeet Ulrich,
yeah.
And it was super good. And they left it on a cliffhanger after season 1. And then they canceled the freaking show, and it actually had decent ratings.
It was like 2 days later they canceled it. It wasn't even like it was so quick after the finale, and then fans fans did very similar to what the Snyder Cut fan base has done.
Yes.
So they rented, they bought ad space in like the Hollywood Reporter. They got a full page ad. They would send letters to the like executives at CBS. They would send nuts because that was a final thing uttered at the end of season 1, you know, and so like, and that had a whole story behind it too. Can
I just encourage everybody, because I'm seeing something in the chat. Can I just encourage everybody, Cisco, Kenneth, but all of you guys started something in my mind. Wouldn't it be great to start a Twitter thing to the fandom menace blank? To the fandom menace, let the butt hurt flow through you all. To the fandom menace, forget you guys, right?
I'll go to that. I'll go to that rate quote from Rise of Skywalker. I won't hate, not even you.
There you go. Okay, there you go. All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
All I was gonna say is it was like, you know, fan movements can work sometimes if they're organized.
Yes.
And this was very organized, and so was the Snyder Cut.
This was ridiculous.
It's the first one I've seen for a movie.
Organized. Yeah.
First one I've seen for because obviously it goes back to like Star Trek and stuff like that.
Oh, absolutely. But the great thing about the Snyder Cut movement is that it's kept going.
Yes.
And that it's kept organizing. And that's been really good to like elevate it out there and get more people talking about it, because what are you going to do? You know, people criticize Zack Snyder, but you can't criticize the fan base. Like, you know, they try to go, oh, but the Snyder Bros, right? And then it's like, who? Like what?
And
like
there's a lot of them.
that one stupid Twitter account. Okay, you know, but what about the couple 100,000 raised for suicide prevention? So.
And the other 20 we hope to raise on the 20th, man. That's so when you ask
ladies and gentlemen, December 20th.
Yes.
The Hall of Justice. You're going to want to spend all day long. It's going to be one stream after another, and we're going to raise money. And I'm telling you right now, you're going to want to be here at the Poindexter Lounge from 1 to 3 p.m.
If I'm looking you right in your eye right now, you're gonna want to be there on.
Look at this guy. Let me get that comment out of your way here for a second.
I assume it's related to a mathematical symbol. To a sense.
No. What I'm saying is you're gonna want to be in attendance for Poindexter Lounge from 1 to 3 p.m. on Sunday, December 20th. It's gonna be fire.
Yes.
And not just then. You're gonna want to. If you're able to attend the entire stream, it's a long day. I can tell you that.
I'm off and I can't wait.
It starts at somewhere around 7 a.m. and it ends at like 1 a.m. Pacific time. But it's gonna be fire.
Oh my gosh.
Every show that you're gonna see there is gonna be like put together for the purpose to raise the money for the Arnold Snyder Fund for AFSP. It's gonna be great, and I hope that. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of you guys there. I don't want to say I hope. I'm sure we're going to see a lot of you guys there.
Heck yeah.
It's just going to be fabulous.
I will be there.
Heck yeah. I do. So I got to shout out Gary Lee Fowler. So Gary is my buddy on Facebook. That's how we met was via Facebook on Mike Zero's Facebook page. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Gary is in there every day. This guy, I'll tell you what, man, if you guys think, I know we get a lot and they're like, people are like commenting, they're like, thank you, Enosh, for, for fighting this fight, against nonsense and all this stuff like that. But let me tell you something, guys. It's Gary Fowler who is like in the trenches, man. He is like your ground troops on the ground, because literally every post that I'm shocked that he has not banned you, Gary. I am like in absolute shock. Unless you are Mike Zero just giving yourself a hard time, which I tell you what, after meeting TW, I don't know what to think anymore. It could be this big meta thing where Mike is many people and all people together. You might be TW. I don't know at this point, because he's got me so confused. But Gary is in every one of these things, man. And Gary is like pointing out Mike's garbage and like reaching out to other people who will come unsuspectingly to Mike Zero's page and be like, hey, I just subscribed. And I tagged him the other day because there was a guy who was in Mike Zero's thing, and he was like, hey man, I just subbed to your channel, you know. And it's like, he was like talking about how he liked the content and stuff like that. And he was actually trying to have a conversation with Mike, who never answers, by the way, about, you know, the story that he was talking about there. And like, I jumped in and I'm like, hey man, I'm just warning you, dude, you know, Mike is, you know, full of junk. He never backs it up. He has absolutely no sources, you know, and stuff. And the guy comes back and he goes, oh, he says, well, thank you. He says, well, I'm going to look into this and then unsubscribe then if what you say is true. And I come back in there and I tag Gary. I'm like, Gary, we saved another one. So Gary's awesome. He says here, you know, Zero has jumped on the Mando hype now, and that's the truth. None of his videos pre-Ahsoka drop included anything Mando related. Even Kathleen Kennedy and Brie have taken a back seat for more clicks because he trolls other topics. And that's the thing is, and Gary points out all the time, so Grogu is his name, right? Mm-hmm. That gets dropped. Mike had no clairvoyance into that. Didn't have any scoopers or anything like that said, hey, we were going to get his name. Right? Didn't have any clairvoyance that Boba Fett was actually going to come back, or like that all this stuff was going to happen. Never stuff that actually happens. It's always stuff that's going to happen 2 or 3 years down the lane.
How does he not know Boba Fett's coming back? I mean,
well, I mean, at the time. At the time before it was all hype. You know what I mean?
Like, even we already knew, even from last season, you hear the Spurs and you're like, I know who they're leading to. It's been a year we've been talking about, like, we've been going for months going like, well, I mean, Tamara Morrison, it feels like he's coming back. Like, it's not even.
I know, but Mike.
I'll admit,
never,
I kind of thought it was just
Mike
Vamp,
never.
But hey.
Mike never has any kind of insight.
Oh,
you know.
Yeah, I can't watch him. I can't watch him. I just can't do it.
Hey, you guys got to bounce, man.
Hey, man.
Hey, good to be on. Hey, Enos, I appreciate it. You got. Hey, look, I want to leave you guys with I made this bold prediction. What did I make? 4 nerds the other night. What do you guys think about Starkiller showing up season 3 Mandalorian?
So I have thoughts on that. I think it's a
today's
possibility.
sponsor Doom Galax, yeah.
No, I do think Starkiller, it could be a possibility.
Well, from what they've been doing with the Mandalorian, especially the second season, the characters they've been bringing up, Start. I mean, I'm sure we've all played. We're familiar with Starkiller from the Force Unleashed games. Fire character, like, think he show up in season 3?
And look, actually played by Whitwer.
Yeah. So,
I mean, that's who he's supposed to look like. I
memories
love
of
that
Starkiller aren't real.
Well, because at this point, Maul is dead in the series. So they're not going to bring Maul back again another time.
Yeah.
No.
Although it would be something if they did, but I think it would jump the shark.
Yes.
If they
according to the reports, George Lucas had planned for the sequel trilogy apparently for Darth Maul to be the villain of the whole thing. That was like an actual article that came out.
What's interesting about that for me is the fact that everyone who's kind of who might have been disappointed with at least the approaches of the way they handled things with, specifically, I'm talking about the actors, Mark Hamill, Carrie Fisher, Harrison Ford, have to recast them anyway, because if they started that in 2012, it's still Heir to the Empire time, 5 years after Jedi. So they'd still have to recast them anyway.
Yeah.
And also there was no Rebels, so it wouldn't be like bringing Maul back a second time. It would be, he wouldn't be dead, basically.
I just wanted to get you guys' thoughts on that.
I tell you what, man.
I thought about
Well,
that.
I mean,
Starkiller, I
where-
was like, yo.
If
where
you're right
the
on
game
that,
ends, I mean, all things considered, it's like where it doesn't
Yeah.
give a. I haven't
If
played
you're-
number 2. I never played number 2.
well,
I hear it's not as good. I hear it's not as fire.
two's been a long time since I've played, but
Yeah.
basically, spoilers: your protagonist winds up dead at the end of both games.
yeah, but that's
But-
why I was asking because
Yes, and if Anthony's right, hey, if Anthony's right, considering your bold prediction regarding, Washington,
Go ahead, TW.
Washington and Pittsburgh, that would be 2 for 2, and that would be rather incredible.
yeah,
And Enosh has thoughts. Thomas Bartholdi looks forward to that stream.
I don't know, I'd be okay if they brought in Starkiller. I'd be happy.
yo,
It'd be interesting. I'd make no
I'd
mistake.
be-
I would just be intrigued as to sort of what his place would be as far as like his actual history if they go straight Force Unleashed, and because because they couldn't just Force Unleashed couldn't be sort of holistically canon again because of the ending of Force Unleashed 1.
mm-hmm. Nah,
But,
that was
If
that's
they brought
why.
the character back, it'd be interesting.
Gary, peace out, man. I'm glad that you were here for that, man. Because I tell you what, buddy, I like you a
care.
lot, man, and I appreciate you, man, for sure.
Rasha. All right, y'all.
Tell
I'm out, man.
me.
Yeah.
I can't wait to see your. I can't wait to see your
man,
weekly picks.
oh yeah, you'll see him tomorrow, man. You guys will see him tomorrow.
I'll tell you what, man. And when this guy right here tells you that you need to do something, you better do it.
Yeah, you need to tune in.
Because this dude right here
And you know what's fire is that
will flex on you.
I have the nah.
Yeah.
But my show, World's Finest.
Yes.
My homie Meg. We have the show that comes right before his show on the 20th. So will we getting you guys ready for you guys' show? But take my advice and you should tune in to the whole day. But his stream is gonna be fire. So yes, Cisco, peace out. Look, Tony, get here. Oh yeah. Hey, I'll see you guys later, man.
All right, man.
Bounce,
All right.
Y'all
See
you
you.
guys
We'll see you
take it
later.
easy, man.
Okay. Cool. So
Before you go
Yes.
on, I'm just stepping away for a second. I will be in chat. I'm just not going to be at the computer for a second.
Okay. All right, man.
Yeah, it's all good. I'm just folding. I'm just folding.
Go write your next 12 scripts for your Mike Zero videos.
God, no one has that much energy. Anyways, I'm just folding laundry, so it'll all be good.
That's all good. Okay, cool. So
Am I the only one left?
yeah, it's just you and me, man. It's just you and me.
All right.
Which is you know what? It's here's Tony, but it's definitely fitting. I'll tell you, and a TW, I'm gonna take you out, but just message me in the private chat because I still got you in there. So just message me in the private chat when you're able to come back. So what's up, Tony?
Hey, not too much. How you guys doing?
I'm doing good, man. I'm doing good. You're just in time for us to switch topics, so it's perfect. We got a whole new crew in here. That's awesome.
What were we talking about?
So we were talking about the Mandalorian.
Love it.
Yep, and we just got through that whole thing. Yeah, we'll add Metropolis here too as well. What's up, buddy?
Oh,
Good
well,
to see you.
I just saw you were live, so
Yeah,
I
sir.
could jump right in.
Yes, sir. Rasha, you're gonna get me in trouble. You're gonna get me in trouble. That's all I'm saying. All right. So one thing, because I do want to talk about what Matt alluded to here, which is our next topic. But Kenneth put this in here a couple times, so I do want to address this. Kenneth says, Enosh, I know this is off topic, but I never understood this whole not my Superman argument when it comes to live action. To me, the different actors all bring something new to the role. And you know what? I saw your Facebook post about that. And you know what, Kenneth? I'm kind of right there with you, man. You know, it's like every actor who's played Superman, what I've seen so far of it, I haven't seen much out of Tyler Hoechlin yet, but everybody else, including Brandon Routh, who, like, his movie isn't my favorite Superman iteration, but he is a stand-up guy. And yeah, people got to get over this whole not my Superman thing. Like, I literally just had someone comment on one of my videos today trying to tell me that I don't know anything about Superman. Zack Snyder doesn't know anything about Superman. It sucks. Everything sucks, you know, because and look, I'm a big boy. I can handle all this stuff. It just always makes me laugh because people like this guy wrote me a book and then went on to tell me, Matt, you'll get a kick out of this. So he's trying to tell me like about how Zack Snyder sucks. Everybody sucks because nobody knows anything about Superman. But this guy has written multiple Superman screenplays.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. He's an expert then.
Yeah.
It's like the
good going,
guy
buddy.
from Pendant Audio, whatever his name was. Do you guys ever hear any of those? The Pendant Audio was a audio drama company, I guess you could call it that, and they would do fan stories, right? Fan fictions of like Superman or Batman. They'd have these like monthly ongoing series. They had like 7 of them at a time.
Oh, really?
You know, yeah, it was insane. Eventually, like the guy thought he got too big for his britches. He started kind of, I think he started like selling merchandise with like Superman logo on it. And claiming fair use, but his ego was so big he didn't even see when Warner Brothers came in and just smacked him with a cease and desist. Like,
really?
And just took them down. Like, I mean, we're talking like just completely destroyed everything they had built in like one go. But yeah, I mean, I've met people like that don't like Snyder Superman, don't like, you know, like, oh, it's not how Superman is. And, you know, I like what Deborah, I'm paraphrasing, but I think Deborah Snyder made a great comment when she was like, more or less, you know, people don't really want to see, like, people want their superheroes to be human. You know, to like deal with human problems. You know, I think that's what we're going for here. So that's the thing I don't get. It's like, you know, people are like, oh, I love Batman. Well, why? He's so dark and he's angry. Yeah, but why? His parents were killed. Is that not a human problem? I mean, like, you know.
Well, this person was trying to tell me what was funny about this person was trying to tell me that Zack that Zack is okay for Batman, but you know, that he doesn't understand Superman. You know what I mean? So, you know, he shouldn't be. He
understood
Superman.
it better than Bryan Singer. But then again, I like to see Superman Returns has grown on me over the years.
Yeah, it is what it is. It's not my favorite, but look, especially after meeting Brandon Routh, I would never say anything. Look, and I've gone on rants before about Superman Returns because there's things that I just fundamentally disagree with. Because everybody's, you know, I know that it's supposed to be Christopher Reeve's Superman, but it's only in name, only to me, and only in presentation, because nothing else about that movie. When Christopher Reeve, say what you want to about, you know, the old movies or whatever. I love those movies because that was a Superman I grew up with. But Christopher Reeve was very much, when he walked in a room as Superman, oh my gosh. You know what I mean? Like he had a command of the room as Superman. He spoke with conviction. He spoke from a place of authority. Brandon Routh's Superman, they never give him that in that movie. They never let him speak like he is confident. The one confident thing that he says in that movie is when he saves the airplane and he steps aboard the airplane and he you know, and he says, you know, is everyone safe? And then he says, you know, hey, he uses the line again, you know, statistically, it's still the, you know, the safest way to fly. Even then, it comes across as a little timid. Where Christopher Reeve was just like, you know, like, look, statistically, it is still the safest way to travel. You know, he's just very confident. And but I'll tell you right now, I would never say anything negative like that. I would never go on another one of those rants again after meeting Brandon Routh.
All I want to say about this is Superman's a comic book, right? We all know this. Now, I've read this book over the years. Different writers changed the character. So how can people get angry that different actors are playing the same guy? If you read the comic books, if you want to be true to to what Superman is and look at the printed word, every single writer and every single artist change Superman. Every like 50 issues since like the 50s, it's changed. You know, like you have to look at it. That's the beauty of somebody taking a story that we didn't create and putting their own spin on it. I don't know why people get angry at that. Like, I'd rather see a different Superman than the same Superman every time with a different actor. That's just me.
Well, the thing with Ralph though is Ralph got he got put into the odd position of trying to be Christopher Reeves.
Because
that
he looks like him, you know.
Well,
and
but that's also what Singer wanted to do. Singer
Yeah.
was adamant about keeping with the Donner vision. I mean, I was at Comic-Con for the Superman Returns panel a month later, and it was him and Dick Donner. And, and you could tell he was heavily, heavily inspired by that. And I think, and I really do think at the time, people were like, not happy with it because they had, because the people who were young and watching Superman Returns as their first Superman movie in the theater, they might have seen 1 and 2 on home video, but they're not going to have grown up with it, really. Mm-hmm. So seeing something like that that's meant to be like a continuation of it, really, it's just going to kind of feel a little bit off. And but for me, like just over the years, I grew to like it a lot more. But that's what I liked about it.
I like it better than Superman 4.
Well, yeah, but that's not hard. I take poops that I like better than Superman 4. Like
just barely Superman 3.
Yeah, no, those are both pretty terrible movies.
Yeah.
Superman 3 wasn't that bad, let's be honest.
It wasn't.
Why?
Richard Pryor stole the show in that movie.
Yeah, true. But, I mean, hey, look, okay, fine.
And,
fine.
and Superman 3 laid the groundwork for one of the greatest comedies of the 90s.
Office Space. I was just going to say that. We can thank Superman 3 for Office Space. So, yes.
But okay, thing I would like to add to the whole not my Superman conversation, I saw the exact same thing happen with Batman. If you remember, how many people swore off Michael Keaton saying, "Oh, Michael Keaton's not Batman; it'll always be Adam West." And even when Adam West came on, I mean, I'm sorry, I don't remember who played Batman in the serial back in the 40s.
I was 7 when that movie came out, so I don't really recall that. I just recall going to the theater and like everyone going, "God, that was amazing."
Yeah,
or Affleck is Batman when Affleck was cast.
That one I remember. I was one of those guys. I was one of those.
People were legitimately pissed off. Like that. I remember when they did the Comic-Con reveal, and I actually have a video on my main channel where I defended Affleck, right? And I'm actually really excited to see. And I defended the casting of Gal Gadot, which I was one of the only few people at the time defending Gal Gadot as Wonder Woman. So people have been losing their crap over DCEU casting for a long time.
Oh yeah.
So
I even said Ben Affleck initially didn't look like a good Batman because I even argued that with Christian Bale. Christian Bale wasn't a good Batman.
No, I was concerned when I first heard about Ben Affleck, but it wasn't really his look. It was more just because it was Ben Affleck, and I was concerned because I hadn't really.
I was that way too.
I didn't really see Ben Affleck as having proven himself. But you know what? Honestly, look, I will never say anything about Batman casting ever again, because you know what? Every time somebody is freaked out about Batman casting, they're wrong. They're just wrong.
Andre
the problem
from
with Ben
Midnight's
Affleck
Edge.
too is he looked too old at the time because
Well,
wasn't he in his mid-40s?
That was the point. Like that was the point.
Yeah,
like, that's
that
the
was
character.
the
Like, we all kind of, but and that Pattinson is like kind of the opposite of that.
He's
and that was
young,
the thing.
yeah.
Was it Andre from Midnight's Edge said on Twitter today? He's like Robert Pattinson is going to be terrible as Batman. Change my mind. And I'm like, you have to wait a year and a half for that. For one, two, like the trailer looked awesome.
I think we can all agree, as long as Robert Pattinson doesn't take a shirt off again, I think we'll all be okay.
Why are we so accustomed now? And Matt, you've been covering movie news. Matt, you've been covering movie news for a long, long time, right? But
Yes.
why is it that we are so accustomed now to we as fans, and now all these YouTube pundits, right? People got a YouTube channel and now they think that they're, infallible, you know what I mean? Like my opinion matters now. You get a few thousand subscribers and then, you kind of get this head on you that it's like, my opinion matters now. And I'm going to tell all you how it is. So it's like, yeah, it's going to suck. Prove me wrong. Why?
Well, it's because people inherently like drama. That's a lot of it. And there's also like people realize that you can get a lot more. Okay, I'll tell you this. My number one most viewed video over on the other channel is about a movie, and it was defending the joke at the end of Kingsman, when that movie came out in February or Valentine's Day.
I mean, the
weekend,
one where he
2015.
walks past the cell and the girl.
Yeah, she's like, oh, if you save the
Yeah,
world, you can do me in the butt.
Yeah.
Okay, and then like if you've seen the movie, they go through with it, right? They
Yep.
go through with the joke, which I thought was brilliant. Like they actually followed through.
Wow.
But the thing was,
But he should have.
He should have what, followed through?
No, make out with Margot Kidder.
Christopher Reeve should have made out with Margot Kidder in the middle of Ground Zero. Just saying.
Yeah, well, why not?
He doesn't like Man of Steel, and that's fine. We respect everybody's opinion, but I just
Every time I think of Margot Kidder, I have to think of like early Family Guy when she's like screaming.
Hey,
in the middle of the house.
Oh my goodness.
hey.
Look at my purse. Ah!
Okay, hold on a second. I'm gonna mute you right there because that woman, I love that woman.
She's Canadian.
I met her, and I became a 12-year-old little kid again, and yeah, and it's a whole other story. I'll tell you about that sometime. But yeah, no, I'm sorry. I totally killed that. Matt, I'm sorry. So the scene there at the end of Kingsman, yes, let's bring it back.
Anyway, so a lot of people were attacking the joke as being sexist because back in 2015 that was more rampant than it is now, thankfully. But they were really ramping it up, and a lot of these guys that were like quote unquote like male feminists were coming out to attack it, saying that it was like, sexist. And I'm like, look, the joke is funny. Like, especially if you look at the code he uses to get into the jail cell, like I think the 3 digits actually spell ASS. It spells it out, and the joke is funny because like it was all the other absurdity in the movie. You think like she's like if you do it, this is going to be your reward, because in all the other gentleman spy movies, he always has sex with the woman at the end anyway, right?
Yeah.
All the Bond films.
Yep.
So this was just a dirtier, more subversive take on it. But here's where people, and this is 2 years later, no one ever talks about this. Did you guys ever see the Kingsman 2?
No.
I haven't. No.
Yeah.
I like Kingsman 2, but it's not as good. But what was the subversive take is that he and the princess are still together in that movie, and they get married in that movie, which is something that you would never see in a Bond film. So it's like the joke had its own legs, and then they carried forward and they just doubled down on it in a more meta subversive way in the sequel. But that's my that has over 1 million views.
Because that's the kind of girl you marry.
And I mean,
what's the difference between that and Deadpool? You know what I mean? Like,
yeah. Well, no,
Deadpool a little bit more in your face in Deadpool. But...
well, it's just because that's the whole thing. It's all pick and choose,
right?
Like there's this guy that's that runs this account that's like shitty Star Wars takes or something on Twitter, and he and I got into it last night because he starts retweeting all these people attacking Lucasfilm over Bill Burr. And, because I'm a big Bill Burr fan.
Yeah, so is my wife. So is my wife.
So yeah, if you haven't seen F is for Family, it's the best thing.
Oh yeah, you turned us on to that, man, and we watched all 4 seasons like that, dude.
Isn't it great?
And
it's great.
If someone says a bad word about it, we shall put them through the bleeping wall.
Yeah. But I started kind of going after this guy a little bit. Started pushing back on him because none of these people ever push back. I'm a leftist, and I'm like, no, screw cancel culture. All you guys want to do is fight and complain. Nobody wants to, it's the dog on the nail adage, right? It's the dog complains about being on the nail versus just standing up and getting off it. It's just easier to complain. And that's all this stuff is, So all these people online complaining about casting and all these YouTubers that just make crap up. I mean, they ruin it for the rest of us. Let's be real. They do. They ruin it for the rest of us because we want to have actual legitimate conversations, but we have to always fight back against their nonsense. And the more hyperbolic they can be and the more full of lies that they are. I mean, I still almost daily get Doomcock supporters coming to my videos that are just like, oh, you're wrong. You're wrong about Doomcock. He's always right. And I'm all like, what reality do you live in? And can I get some of the pills that you're on?
My favorite thing is you're jealous of him. And I'm like, no, because what do I have to be jealous of? Look, you know what? YouTube subscribers are great. You know what? But the thing is if your quality of subscribers isn't there, then that's one thing I love about all of you guys here on this channel is I really feel like when I come here, when I turn on my camera, when I turn on my computer and I come here and I have a conversation with you guys and all of you in the chat and everything,
look, I don't need, 1,200 people in my chat to have a good conversation and to feel like I accomplished something on YouTube. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I don't understand that mentality that, because they have, a few, like somebody said, well, he's got like 10 times, somebody else was like 10 times, 20 times more than you, whatever. Like, look, that's great. Good for him. But the thing is that I have great conversations and I've built up great relationships with people that I would have never met if I would have just sat here at home. And I'm literally talking to two guys from Canada right now, and Matt Jarbo and Obelisk. I'm guessing you're from Georgia.
Yep.
You know what I mean? And like I
should have worn a Clemson shirt to throw everybody off.
And then we just had a Georgia guy in here with ACS, man. He's a Georgia guy, and so But the thing, that's what I'm saying, is like we get together, we're having these conversations that I would have never had before. Like, I'm sorry, but you know what? Having some huge YouTube channel can be a great thing, but it's not what life is about. Yeah. You know what I mean? And so that being said,
yes.
That being said, Matt Jarbo and Cisco, no, I will not give up my Kidder fantasy.
No, but yeah, I love
that comment in this comment thread I would really like to debunk right now.
I love that.
It's Rob Deneni's comment about Tim Burton's Batman.
Deneny. Yeah.
Okay, that's how you pronounce it. Tim Burton's Batman opened the door for all the superhero movies that came after. No, not all the superhero movies that are made today. I argued that was Bryan Singer's X-Men. You know what Tim Burton's Batman brought us? Dick Tracy, the Rocketeer, the Shadow, the Phantom, all of these pulp heroes.
Oh yeah,
because Dick Tracy. Now, granted, he was a comic strip, but this was also back in the 30s. The Rocketeer was an original character, but he was based off of the Rocket Men serials from the 1940s. Then you have the Phantom, who was yet another pulp hero. I think the earliest written was the
strip guy, I think.
Yeah, he was a comic strip, and then got written into pulps, and then other stuff came along. Then you had the Shadow, which was strictly pulps, and then had the serial in the 40s, had a couple of movies in the 50s, and then went away. So if you're looking at Tim Burton's Batman, and I've done this on my channel, I've actually covered some of those movies that Tim Burton's Batman inspired, which was the Rocketeer, the Shadow, even so much as the Crow. That Tim Burton's Batman brought about the renaissance of the pulp hero, whereas Bryan Singer brought about the renaissance of the superhero.
Now, would you think that Spawn was inspired by Tim Burton's Batman as well? I mean, that was like 8 years later, or that was around 10 years later.
Spawn was Batman.
Spawn was inspired by a turd that somebody took one day, looked down in the toilet and said, "I should make a Spawn movie."
That's like arguing that Blade was inspired by Batman '89, which we all know if you watch Blade.
Yeah, and I would say even like Blade inspired X-Men.
Yeah, because Blade was before that.
But yeah, it was a couple years before, and then the thing is like, why is it Blade never gets any respect? Right?
Well, but Matt, let's also make this argument. Had X-Men not been successful, this ensemble superhero movie, would we even have an Avengers movie today?
No, because Feige worked on X-Men, and he was the one that was helping Hugh Jackman get more into character, because the execs at Fox didn't want it to look like a comic book. Because
who was the guy that before Heath Ledger? He quit X-Men and did Mission Impossible 2.
Doug Ray Scott, and Hugh Jackman.
Doug Ray Scott, that was his name.
Yes, that was it.
But because I think he had dropped out like last minute, and then Hugh Jackman said, "Yeah, I'll do it because it'll pay my rent for 6 months."
Well, and the thing is, like, it launched his career. I mean, because I still remember I went to the drive-in, the one that I worked at for 10 years. This was actually the summer before I worked there, and I sat there. We had I can't say I wasn't there at the time, but they were playing X-Men and Gladiator as a double feature. And so I sat down and watched X-Men and Gladiator, and absolutely loved it. Both movies. Bought X-Men the moment it dropped on DVD. We had a 65-inch TV at the time with a full surround sound, and we watched X-Men a bunch. It's such a... The thing is, yes, I agree with you that on the modern stage of things, absolutely, Bryan Singer's X-Men moved the needle to the point of where we are where we are.
They look like big
strong.
Oh my goodness.
Hands.
My buddy
Man,
just said that,
I have
dude.
not seen that
The
movie in probably about
never-ending
10
You
years.
have real life folk hands.
Da-na-na-na-na-na-na-na.
What the
I'm
hell
just gonna
was
bring-
that?
I'm
Was
just gonna-
that creature called like that dog dragon? Head of a dog, body of a
Falcor?
dragon.
Falcor, the
Falcor,
luck
it's the luck
dragon.
dragon.
The luck dragon.
Yeah.
Yes.
Luck
I'm
dragon.
gonna just bring it back
My-
just to the
I
back of the
haven't seen
joke.
Never Ending Story in probably 10
Yeah.
years.
I love
I'm gonna
that
bring
movie.
I'm gonna bring it back to the Kingsman thing real quick because Jarbo, you talked about them doubling down. It
Yeah.
looks like if all signs are pointing the way I think they're pointing, it looks like Disney Plus is going to double down too, because we might be getting Bill Burr again this season because of that little bit in the tragedy.
Well, yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
Oh,
all I
look,
know
no,
is
that stuff passes. That stuff.
yeah, and it
Well-
could just be nothing. It could just be nothing. But
Look at they've been going after what's her name from the same show. I mean,
Gina Carano.
Yeah, Gina Carano. And I mean, look, every time I see her, I smile. She's a good-looking woman, and she kicks butt. Like, you know, look, I've dealt with some people online over the last couple of weeks, like especially about Star Wars and just different things, and people are, you know, saying stuff like, if this person's going to be in this or that or whatever, I'm never going to watch it again or whatever, or I hate this because this person's in it or that, and I don't agree with their politics. On both sides. Folks, can I just say this just straight up? Look at me. Do not judge whether or not you're going to like something that's fictional with actors in it based on those actors' personal politics.
Yeah, fuck.
Because
Mhm.
it's called acting. And you know what? If you're going to do that, you might as well turn your TV off. You might as well never go to the movies. Throw away all your Blu-rays, your DVDs, even those VHS and Betamax that you got from way back in the day. Because you know what? You are never going to agree with everyone's politics. That is not what being a fan of Star Wars or DC or Marvel or any of these things are about. It's about those shows. So for God's sake, can we stop this junk with saying, well, if you don't fire that person, I'm not going to watch that show. Stop it. Stop it. That's ridiculous. It actually pains me. It hurts me because I feel bad for people who say stuff like that because they're missing out. They're hurting themselves. They're not hurting anybody else.
I mean, well, it's like,
Excuse
you know, I'm not a Scientologist, and I find the religion to be
Absolutely
quite terrible. However, I will watch every single Mission Impossible movie and every probable Tom Cruise movie because I just like him as an actor. And he entertains the hell out of me.
And I'm going to go and say this. If you're not a fan of Scientology, do not watch the movie Battlefield Earth.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? That movie was bad. But
yeah,
it was bad, but it was written by the same guy.
It was written by L. Ron Hubbard. Yeah.
Oh no, you guys should totally go to LA and check out all the Scientology buildings in LA. They're everywhere.
No, Rel, I do not like the first Spawn movie. I like Spawn. I do not like the Spawn
Did you ever watch the cartoon that was on HBO? The one with Keith David?
I didn't know. I didn't watch. I saw it late one night on something else. Somebody showed an episode or two, and I watched an episode or two. And that's
it's heavy. It's
seen.
dark.
I know it is. I know it is.
Yeah, it's not like your standard like, oh, this is gonna kick ass.
It's basically the comic book just in animated form.
But it was good. It was good. It's one of those things where like as a younger kid,
it's a lot.
I couldn't get into it, but it's like Death Note. You know, like I love the concept of Death Note, but that anime just, oh my god, like you have
Ryu
to be in
used
the right
to scare the hell out of me.
Yeah, it just depressed the hell out of me. But
I enjoyed. Was it Ryu or Ryuk?
Ryuk.
I think it's Ryuk.
Ryuk. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what it is. I accidentally said Ryu, like a Street Fighter.
Yes.
Okay, well here's an unpopular opinion / hot take. I unironically love every frame of the 1994 Street Fighter movie.
I do too. I really do.
I love that movie.
I think that movie would have.
I think that movie
would have been remembered as a good action movie had it not had the Street Fighter name attached to it.
No, not at all. It needs to have Street Fighter. Are you kidding me? Just like
Raul Julia has to be Guile.
Yeah, and Kylie Minogue is Cammy, and Ming Na Wen is Chun-Li. Right? And it's like
who played
Raul
Ryu in
Julia
that
is
movie?
Bison.
I don't even remember.
I don't care.
Wasn't he only in it for like 5 minutes?
Yeah, he wasn't in it for long. But then you had like
the funny part with that
Ryu was the white guy.
That's Ken.
No,
Was Ryu the white guy? I got to watch it again. I got to watch it again.
Sure,
The funny part with that movie was that they originally wanted Jean-Claude for the Mortal Kombat movie as well. Because for those who don't know, the character Johnny Cage was actually inspired by Jean-Claude Van Damme at the time.
I still like that. I still think Paul W.S. Anderson did a good job on that one. I still think the first Mortal Kombat was good. I
have to address this comment by Supreme Femto. Says Boba Fett is gay. So I'm wondering, Jarbo, I don't know if you were on the night that wasn't it you and I who were talking to Max the Mandalorian, and he kept referring to this character named Boba Fett, and I'm not really sure who that Boba Fett guy is.
He kept saying it.
I don't know who Boba Fett is, but whoever this Boba Fett is,
that's like me with Ahsoka Tano.
I love Max, but he just kept mispronouncing it.
I know. There's a lot of people who just they really don't like this Boba guy. I'm glad that I am not a Boba Fett fan. I'm definitely a fan of Boba Fett, but I also don't know. I don't know what Gahay is. Is that like he's like Gahay? Hey, I don't know.
Boba Fett is Jay, so we got to find out who Jay is.
Oh, he's Jay.
Yes,
that's
Jay.
Boba Fett is
Tommy Lee Jones.
Oh God!
Hey, that joke was funnier than Men in Black International.
Oh, okay.
So I haven't seen it, but
actually, it's not bad. It's not bad. I actually really enjoyed Men in Black International. I'm easily impressed though. But
so in transition, first of all, this is for you, Tony, because I was at Walmart the other day and I was walking down the video aisle, and this popped out at me, and I thought, Tony.
Letterkenny, yes.
There you go, right there. So I wanted to send that out. But no, so Matt Jarbo alluded to this earlier, and he is true. He was right. Matt, I didn't mean to put the wrath of my vengeance upon you, as it were. But no. So there's this whole thing going on right now with HBO Max, which I'm excited for HBO Max. I'm excited for the Snyder Cut. But coming from a place like Flint, Michigan, every time I hear, it's okay if theaters go away, it's okay if this goes away or that goes away.
You've seen it happen too many times.
I have lived in a city, where, you know what? Yeah, everyone's like, Amazon's great. It's awesome. I can order something and I have it here the next day and it's fantastic. Yes, you know what? I'm not going to argue with you about that. And I understand progress, right, guys? I understand those things. But you know what else I understand? I understand that I live in a city now that has so many empty buildings. And I don't know where you guys live and what the situation is where you guys are at. But I live in a city or live just outside of a city, I should say. I used to live in the city, though, that has been depressed, has lost out on so much jobs, every kind of thing that you can think of, where there are now complete, strip malls completely empty. There are our mall, which is a grand mall. We have an awesome, amazing mall. I proposed to Tiffany in that mall, and now I walk through that mall and it's becoming a shell. The smaller mall that we used to be by the house that I grew up in, that we go to every weekend, man. And I went to that arcade, and look, I get it. You can call me old, you can call me a boomer, call me whatever you want to. I don't care. I get it that times change, right? And that things happen. But here's the thing. That mall is like many other malls across the country. It's dead. There's things on the outside of the mall. Nothing seems to be inside the mall, right? There's all these places all around the outside of the mall, and they put a Staples on the end of the mall, and there's a movie theater actually in the mall still, and it's still there, and it's like the $2 or the $3 theater, should I say? But the thing is that now, man, there's all these big stores and stuff that have closed down, and so I live in a city like that, and here's the problem. The movie theater that I went to growing up got torn down. And we had a huge glut of movie theaters going. And we all of a sudden, like 5-6 movie theaters sprung up. And it was awesome for a minute. And then they all started going away. And now we got like one nice movie theater over by our mall that has been closed down now for a decade and a half, and there's no plans to ever reopen it or use it for anything. So it's been literally an empty building that sits there as an eyesore for the last 15, 16, 17 years. There is the movie theater that I took everybody to when we just did our big Empire Strikes Back, weekend and everything. I love that theater. It's around the corner from my house. I took everybody to that theater. I'm concerned that with HBO Max saying, or well, with HBO, not just HBO, but I mean with Warner Brothers really saying, hey, we're going to release all of our stuff next year on HBO Max. Oh, and the theaters too. And then we're going to change back. That's bullcrap. That's bullcrap. They're going to make too much money. They have too much money that they can make by cutting out the middleman and going direct to this new direct to consumer type of situation. And they can say all that they want. The theaters are still going to be there for other things. And I've heard people say, well, I'll go to the theater for the bigger movies. The movie theaters aren't going to be there for your bigger movies, right? And I'm concerned that a year from now, that theater that's around the corner from my house is now going to be an empty building of what once was. And you can't use it for anything else. I mean, you can gut it and you maybe use it for something, but ain't nobody going to develop it. I mean, it'd be cheaper to just totally raise the thing and start over. And I'm sorry, but I live in a place in an area that has seen so much loss like that no, I don't take this just like, oh, well, it's just movies. Because you know what? It's something that I am passionate about in movies, and I want to be able to go to the theater. I want to be able to enjoy movie theaters, but I see this as an acceleration of where these companies wanted to be anyways. And they're using all this as a way to get there. And I'm not saying that the theater companies or all those companies are just like that they haven't made any mistakes or done anything wrong. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying by the time I found Matt's video, this video where Matt, you did a great job on the video, by the way. Okay, I will just say that, Matt, you did a fine job on this video. This was a great video. Look at this guy. Look at this dude.
This massive topic of conversation over the course of the past couple of days. Can movie theaters survive? Are movie theaters going to be able to survive in the post-COVID world, as well as in the new Warner Brothers release schedule situation?
I will say this, Matt. It was good to see your face again.
It's been a while. I'm reorganizing my office. So yeah,
I do like the new format. I do kind of like it.
Yeah. But that being said, by the time I got to this video, honestly, I had it over this weekend by all the things and people trying to tell me that it's okay, that I don't know what I'm talking about, that theaters are, I don't understand why people don't understand that, if you take away the ability to show movies, it may affect your ability to have a place to show movies at. You know what I mean? I don't get that.
So at no point in my video did I say that I want theaters to go.
I know that. And I'm not talking about you. There are other friends of mine who I just feel are very short-sighted, they like the idea, and this is the problem that I have. People like the idea of being able to watch it at home. I get that, okay? And I'm fine with that. But this idea of movie theaters, better give me something else. They literally want an amusement park at your movie theater or something like that. I'm sorry, but people don't pay attention to films as it is. They don't listen to dialogue. They don't listen, they don't watch the film to actually follow it along. How am I going to be able to follow along with a movie if I got Joe Schmo sitting next to me and they got wait staff walking back and forth, getting them a drink, bringing them some, people ordering from their seat and all this stuff and bringing them food and all this stuff. That's why I avoid those types of theaters that are in existence now. I literally went to one and I said, never again. I will never go to another theater that is like that. It was distracting. It was loud. It was obnoxious. And it was not going to the movies. It was, look, if you want to go out to eat, go out to eat. If you want to go to the bar, Go to the bar. I don't want the neon lights of the bar and the clanking of glasses and silverware and people talking because they're on a date and all this other crap in the theater. Put it outside the theater. I heard somebody say, like, make it like a show, right? Where you go to dinner and a show. Fine. Have an area where people can do that. And then they come into the theater to watch the movie so that I can just come into the theater and watch the movie. If you want to do that, I'd even be fine with it. But this idea that like theaters have to become like an amusement park for us now, just to go see a movie, I don't think that people understand. Like, you got to be able to show movies. And the thing is people are not going to shell out the big money. Sure, there's going to be some of us guys. Look, I know there's some of us, we love movies. We're going to go to movies, right? We're going to go to the movies that we love because we love movies. But the average person, if they've got, because trust me, HBO Max is doing this now. Warner Brothers is doing this now. This would be the first. This will be the first round, and everybody will sit back and go, oh, can they get away with that? Because don't you think that Disney is like waiting with bated breath to see, you know what? They probably already had plans to do it, and Warner Brothers just beat them to it. You know what I mean? But the thing is that they're just waiting. I mean, they've already tried to do it with Mulan. Now they did it with the wrong movie, and they got this $30 plan and stuff like that. Whatever, okay. But the reality is that movies are, the theater experience is not going to last. And I understand that things got to evolve, things got to change, but it's not going to last. And because people are not going to spend out more money if they're already spending $15 a month on HBO Max or Netflix or whatever, or Disney Plus, and they get a movie that's released and they get to watch it at home. The average person is not going to go, oh, I'm going to take my family to go see that same movie in the theater because we already saw it. They're already bootlegging stuff now that already affects the industry.
Well, to be fair on that front,
it's basically legal bootlegging is what it is of their own films. You know what I mean? And so it's going to cut these guys right out.
Not necessarily. Okay, so this is where I see your point, and you have a very good point, and it's very valid. But for one, piracy actually doesn't negatively impact box office sales. That's been proven time and time again. People, if now like a 1080p rip of something might. Cam movies definitely do not.
Yeah,
and that's mostly how things are overseas. So yes, like right now with like Wonder Woman being released in 4K on HBO Max, the first movie to be up-res to 4K for the service, that is going to be pirated in that resolution, very much so. But people out there, you know, they what it is what they're wanting is the subscription because of the convenience factor. And that is ultimately why Netflix has been able to amass what it has. It's like, look, $16 a month, you get all this stuff. HBO is $15 a month, you get all this stuff. New content. And they constantly hit you with it, so you just keep your membership and you just keep paying them money. So what my point, though, about theaters was that, you know, like theaters have to change. They just have to change. Because it's the general concept is one that I personally don't want to see change. Like I'm agree with you. I've done one of those like recliner ones where it was like The Force Awakens 2015. My family was coming in from San Diego. I spent $100. I bought us premium large screen presentation tickets, good seats, and I get there and there are people sitting in my seats. These were reserved seats. And I go and I argue with the manager about it. And the manager's like, well, I gave it to them. And I'm all like, F you. Like, I'm with my family. I already pre-bought these tickets.
Yeah.
We're missing the movie right now, by the way. And they go, well, we can give you another. We have another showing in an hour that's in a smaller theater, but you guys get like a whole row to yourself. And it was one of those like recliner ones. And we had to sit in the front row, and it was comfortable, but like there was beer spilled on the floor that they didn't clean up from the last one. They gave me my $100 in cash back, so like I still made out on the deal. But ever since then, I'm like, no, like I'm gonna go. I'm making sure I will fight for all this stuff because I like the purest experience. Like I am that guy, by the way, who as a manager of a theater. One day, I took my employee into an auditorium and I said, I want you to go look for people who are bringing in outside food or drink And he goes, okay. And he pinpointed like 5 people. He's like, what do you want me to do? And I'm like, I want you to tell them to throw it out. And he did, and they did. That is the kind of purist I am when I'm an asshole, right? Like that was when I had
How did you
power.
never to come to your theater? I always bring
That was
beer.
dude, trust me. For the most part, I didn't care, right? But it was like I was proving a point at that time. But like, and even now, I still sneak in stuff all the time. But
well, Matt, to be fair, why am I going to pay $5 for a box of Raisinets that cost me $1 at Walmart?
Well, see, that's the thing,
and it's the exact same size at the movie theater too.
Well, no, that's true. It's the popcorn that and the soda where the money really is made. By the way, you know that because like a large bag of popcorn might cost $7, right?
Hey, by the way, Supreme Femto, no offense towards you. I am dealing with it. I'm talking
Why
about
are you
it.
trolling anyway there, bud?
What is that?
Seriously.
Oh my God, can you get that like really weird half smug look of my face off the screen?
It's like a zero look.
Oh, but I'm enjoying it. I'm enjoying it.
Good segue into this.
It's like taking like finger in your mouth.
I look like someone could Photoshop something terrible in my mouth.
Well, now you're just asking for it. Now you're just asking for it.
Why do you think I said it?
We'll just put it into motion. How about
there we go. My
put it in motion.
fat ugly face.
Look at you so we feel like we're seeing you while you're talking to us here. Okay.
Well, I'm trying to be more. I don't know if you saw it today. I put out a video.
It's actually working.
Yeah, I put out a video today. Why I love Cloverfield.
Lip sync is off of Matt.
Hold on. I might be able to make it work. Here. Hold on. See. No, I don't know what I'm saying.
That one worked out pretty good.
Yeah,
that's a great one too, though. I don't know what I'm. Matt Jarbo saying. I don't know what I'm saying.
I don't know what I'm saying. I never know what I'm saying. But no, I think it's theaters. I don't want them to go away. I love them. The problem though is that there is going to be that inevitability, right? What killed movie theater or what killed home video? It was Blockbuster, you know, and Hollywood Video died. Not necessarily because of Netflix, but it had a lot to do with their own business models, and they didn't adapt well enough. Blockbuster like had the opportunity to buy Netflix, and let's be fair, they would have ran it into the ground. But they also they tried doing their own rental kiosk like Redbox, but they did it too late. They were too late to adapt.
Yeah.
Theaters have to adapt in order. Max has a good point here, and let me float this idea by you, because this is the kind of stuff I think they should do, and it's easy. Have your PG-13 version of a movie playing during the morning, afternoon showings, right? Your first 3 sets, your final 2 sets, the R-rated version, if it exists. Think about that. Think about that.
Like a director's cut would be your late.
Yeah. Think about this. So, for example, like there's the AMC at AMC City Walk in Universal City, LA, the one next at Universal Studios. They actually have a no children after 6 policy. No children after 6, and I'm like, oh my God, I love you, because and like it's because you don't always want to go deal with kids when you go, but it's like, why not give me an R-rated cut of a movie? And they already have these things pretty much put together by the time. Give me the PG-13 cut in the day, the alternative cut at night, the director's cut. Give me something different. And it's almost like, remember Clue? When Clue came out in the late 80s and they had the 3 different endings?
That was pretty gutsy.
That was a ballsy play. I mean, I grew up watching it on home video, so I saw all 3 endings. But when my boss was telling me all about how they did it, I was like, that's pretty cool. Like I would have gone and seen Clue 3 times in theaters if I got different endings each time. And there was even a big thing that they were trying in the mid-90s where they were going to try doing like a choose your own adventure in theaters. They were going to build this voting system into the seats. So at certain points you go, the audience would vote like go left, go right, whatever, and then it would just dictate it that way.
It's a Knight's Tale or whatever that game was called.
Like
Dragon's Lair.
Dragon's Lair. That's it.
I cannot help but think about the Futurama episode where they actually do that. Where like there's like a voting thing that comes up on the screen. If you want Calculon to do this, press A.
Yes. I remember that.
Well, and that's the thing is like there has always been discussions of innovation, but it's all about how it can be implemented. You want my honest opinion? You want to know what's killing theaters? And I'm being real here. It's 3D. It's 3D.
Yeah, I'll
like
give you that.
people like, so I first moved to LA in March of 2010, and that was right after the big boom of Avatar. And from there, because Avatar 3D, because here's the thing, in 2010, 70 some odd % of all 3D ticket sales were Avatar, by the way. Right. But that boom of 3D forced all of these companies to react. And so all of a sudden you had like Warner Brothers doing Clash of the Titans, and they did this post-convert 3D, which looked god awful. You know, you had a ton of these movies like, oh, see it in 3D, see it in 3D.
I hate I'm like 3D for the sake of 3D.
It happened.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
going by you just
It happened to
because.
the prequels.
Exactly.
It happened to the prequels.
Yeah. You know, they've done all this kind of stuff where it's, I'll tell you this, the best 3D film I've seen outside of Avatar, because Avatar in 3D IMAX was amazing. That's plot aside, technologically speaking, amazing. But Dread 3D is the best one I've seen, because the 3D was part of the story in some aspects of it. So
I have another one for you, and now this is going to prove my age. Spy Kids 3. That was shot with 3D in mind.
I watched that in theaters as a kid, Gary. So don't worry, you're not showing your. I hope you're not showing.
I was 9 years old when his next one came out. That was Shark Boy and Lava Girl.
Yeah,
that was another one that was shot with 3D in mind. 3D was actually part of the narrative.
Yeah, they've done. Rodriguez was at the time very on the forefront of technology. I don't know what happened on that, to be fair, but I think him playing in the volume for Mandalorian is going to open up his world a little bit in Austin. So I'm looking for. Plus, you guys heard like there's potential Alita prequel series at Disney Plus, right?
Really?
That's a new rumor that's going around this week.
I liked Alita.
Oh, I loved it. But that's the whole point though for theaters. When you go to the theater and you're trying to pick, and it's like it's the kids movies, because that's where they make most of their money, is off the kids movies. You know, and they go like, oh, it's 3D IMAX, 2D for one showing, you know, and then it's just so confusing to go to the damn movies. This is too confusing. So they made it difficult. And that was the problem, is they go, oh, but everyone wants to see this. Like, no, you know, IMAX finally got wise and said, you know what, we're going to slow down on 3D IMAX. Not everything is going to be 3D IMAX. You know, I saw Logan in IMAX. No 3D. Loved it. Love that movie in general, but like that movie in IMAX, just for the sound and the picture quality, was worth it for me. And that's what we need. We need to like make it more consumer friendly. Yes, lower prices. But here's the other part of that too. Maybe, just maybe, you know, if they release these movies on streaming, they get to cut down on the print and advertising, which is a massive, massive, massive expense all the time. So if they cut down print and advertising, maybe they can save a little bit of money, and then they can put that into some of these movies, put that budget back in, and then, you know what I mean? Like build it back up and stuff. Like that's where it's got to be. But it's theaters are just going to have to adapt, or they're going to die like Blockbuster. And that is a very sad reality. And I know, and I feel Enosh's pain, and I don't want it to go away, but
yeah,
that's why
it just physically makes me angry. It honestly, like, and I didn't think I would be like this, that I would have this kind of just guttural reaction to all this. But the thing is that I feel like it's ripping something away from me that I am absolutely passionate about. I love going to the movies. Okay.
What about drive-ins though?
But
Like,
drive-in, no, because here's the thing. I've got 2 drive-ins by me. Okay.
Are they still open?
Yeah, they're still open. Yeah, they're
Okay.
still open, right?
Yeah.
And so the thing is, the problem is if people can get it at home for basically essentially what's going to be in their mind is free because they're already paying for something, right? If they can get that, there is no reason for them to spend the money to go out to a theater or a drive-in or anywhere else and pay for that movie again. Unless they're the Uber fan that is like, I've got to see this. But here's the problem is if people aren't going through the regular year and seeing regular movies, the theater isn't going to be there by the time you get to the big tentpole movie, because it takes all of it. The lot of those tentpole movies, Matt, and you know this, they come with all kinds of you know, when does the movie make most of its money? Like those big tentpole movies.
The first month.
Exactly. And a lot of those companies, the movie studios are getting their big cut of that right up front. And a lot of those deals have that built in, where the movie studio is getting the majority of the profits coming in from those showings up front, because the studio wants to make their money back as fast as they can. And then so the thing is that if you take away that, then you have to have these other smaller movies that come out that are just regular movies that the regular movie going, you know, public goes to, that may not seem like a lot, but it's what keeps things going in between the big movies. You know what I mean? And then when the big movies come out, hey, it's even better. And if you get something that has some legs to it, even better.
But Enosh, real quick though, man, like think about the last couple years. Think about since, like, quite frankly, 2010. Right, our entire model for the big movie season has been altered. It used to be, you know, like June, July, August, the summer season, right? That was the big one. Then you'd get December, okay, you'd get all that. But then if you go and you look at March. Oh wow, I didn't know you could do that.
Oh yeah,
that's
dude,
awesome.
I can even do this, man.
Oh, that's good.
What?
That's awesome. That's a good photo of me. I like that
crazy.
photo. I like that photo of me. But the thing is, go back to March 2010.
2010?
No.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you guys.
Hey, Nick.
What up, dude?
I'm sorry. What show was that where you had the one guy just go, "Hi, everybody"?
Simpsons. That's Dr. Nick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, there you go. That's me. That's what he's saying. That's me.
Hi, everybody.
Like, we're all over the place now. We're like moving around. I like this.
Yeah. Okay,
Yeah,
sorry,
but
I didn't see you guys back there because I was looking at something.
I was going to add to Matt's point about Blockbuster dying, because I think he's actually missing a very important point. I'm going to make this argument. Netflix didn't kill Blockbuster. It was Blockbuster that killed Blockbuster.
Yes. Well, yeah, that's what I said, though. I said they didn't adapt.
No, and I think that they tried to, but they did it completely incorrectly. Because if you remember, with the marketing campaign that Netflix was pushing, it was no late fees. You know, oh my God, how revolutionary. Absolutely no late fees. So what did Blockbuster immediately do? They just said, well, we're going to get rid of our late fees entirely. And how'd that work out for them? Oh, yeah. Late fees brought in the majority of their money, because how many people honestly remembered to return their movie on time at Blockbuster?
Oh, yeah.
I think everyone here can admit that, we've missed the deadline at Blockbuster before.
Well,
getting rid of the late fees, it's like you just took out.
When I worked for Hollywood Video back in '99, our store had the countrywide record of the highest amount of voided late fees. We voided them all the time. If people came in, any sob story, we'd be like, yeah, whatever, we'll get rid of your late fees. It's fine. We don't care. But you're right. You have a point there about the late fees. But at the same time, the network infrastructure in the United States was still minimal. We're talking at that time, 13% of the country had access to broadband internet. And the Netflix instant streaming, which didn't even become a thing until, I think, 2007, that didn't even
And remember, you had to be a DVD subscriber in order to even get access to it.
Exactly.
It didn't become its own thing until when? 2012, 2013?
No, the 2007 was when they first put the Netflix on the Xbox. Because I remember.
But even then, at launch,
when could you get
the
a
content
separate
was very limited
package? When could you get like a separate just for the streaming? Because you still had to have a had to be a DVD customer in order to access the streaming.
It was like an addition to your DVD.
Well, I just stopped ordering DVDs. You know, like, I mean, I just stopped absolutely ordering them.
Right.
I don't
That's not what he's asking.
Comment.
Though,
I don't understand this comment here.
It's time for theaters to die. Sorry for saying it.
Trust me, I don't want them to die because I enjoy going to the theater. Why is it time for theaters to die? Why do we want theaters? Why are we so flippant about this?
We don't want theaters to die.
Hold on. I'm talking about this comment. I'm not talking about any conversations I've had with anybody else on this panel at any other point. I'm talking about this specific comment. It's time for theaters to die. Why? That doesn't make any sense. There is something about seeing a movie in the theater, and don't tell me there isn't, because I literally just saw The Empire Strikes Back 2 months ago with my friends in a theater, And I've seen that movie a million times. But the last time I saw it in a theater was 1997. And
that's pretty cool. That's
and
pretty
you
cool,
cannot tell me that theaters need to just die. And here's the problem. I really feel that we're being way too just like, this isn't a big deal because we're thinking, well, I get it at home and I get to I honestly agree with the comment that was just up here just a second ago that said we're going to freaking turn into WALL-E because we don't want to leave our houses. Right. We're already in a situation where like we don't talk to each other anymore. We don't see each other anymore. Now I'm going to watch my movie at home. You watch your movie at home. I'm going to be fine here. I'm going to pay my little monthly subscription and that's all I need. And I'm not going outside my door now for anything. I don't have to buy anything. I don't have to go out to buy anything. I don't have to go out to do anything anymore. Like right now we're all working from home. A lot of us are. So it's like, what do we have to do anything and go outside the door anymore? Theaters don't need to die.
They don't need to die, but you're saying that from the context of like, dude, we're in the midst of this pandemic. If it didn't exist, then we wouldn't have these restrictions and we'd be going to the theater and we'd be doing what we normally would do in our everyday lives. But until this until the powers that be deem that this is under control, when the numbers go down, then everything can go back to how they were. Now, movie theaters are suffering, yes.
Wow.
Do I want them to go away? No, I don't. But I mean, at our current state, I think this is where we're at.
I agree with that, but hold on a second. I agree with, okay, so Max is here. It says theaters have to get better too. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. But here's my problem with all of this.
Bringing a comic on Thursday night.
You guys know that I love Dawson. Dawson and I, man, we're like this usually, like with our thinking, right? But he made a comment the other day on the Four Nerds that I have to completely disagree with. He said, "Oh, well, the theaters they're going to go back to the like if we get out of this pandemic and stuff, we're going to go back to the theaters want their movies or the studios want their movies in theaters." I don't believe that. I don't believe for a second that Warner Brothers will just go back to their old business model. And here's why. And Matt, I don't know if you've seen these numbers. I have been reading up a lot on this and I've seen some numbers. I've read some articles about this in the last thing. And I want to read this Christopher Nolan article because look, I may not agree with everything Christopher Nolan says, but here's the thing. According to an article I read, Disney Plus, and all they have is The Mandalorian. That's all they have is The Mandalorian, right? I mean, they've got a few other little things, but it's all cheap little like kiddie pop movies. Okay. They don't have anything like substantial right now besides The Mandalorian. That's the only real big new thing that they've given us.
Well, it's a great show. It's a great show.
No, exactly. It's a great show. I don't want to downplay The Mandalorian because you guys know I love it, right? But here's the thing. Apparently, they stand to make $7 billion profit because they have no licensing fees. They have nothing else that they have to do because they brought all their stuff right there to Disney Plus. And it's like, hey, come and get it. And so people are signing up, right? Now, on the other end of that, I saw in that same article that apparently they all of last year with all of their parks, with all of their movies made, with all of their revenue generating systems, they only made $11 billion profit. So tell me this. We all know that Warner Brothers wants a part of that a piece of that pie, right? We all know that's AT&T. They want a piece of that pie, right? So the thing is, and Matt, like you said in your video, right? They're not going to get the same amount of subscribers necessarily that Disney Plus is going to get. But here's the thing. You made a great point. I think it was you that made the point, was like, if Warner Brothers does this thing this next year where they're like, hey, this month, this movie's coming out, right? Or these two movies are coming out. So you get your subscription and you got your subscription and you're like, okay, well, I'm going to do like Disney does sometimes, like I do with my Disney subscription sometimes or my Netflix subscription when stuff goes on hiatus and stuff. I'm just going to cancel it because like, it's like the Mandalorian. Well, it's going away in a couple of weeks. So I can cancel that until something cool comes back, right? But if I got HBO Max and I go, well, I'm going to have it for this month. Well, wait, next month, Suicide Squad's coming. Well, I'm going to go see that anyways at the theater. So why see it at the theater? I'll just spend the $15 or whatever, $12-15 or whatever, and keep my subscription. So I'm not going to cancel my subscription. Well, oh wait, the next month is this other movie and this other movie and this other movie and this other movie. So now they have built in an look, from a business standpoint, it's an amazing plan. You can't take away that, because it's an amazing plan on their point, because people won't want to unsubscribe. They'll just let it go, because they would have either gone to the movies anyways, or they're going to rent those movies when they come out. So they'll go, well, I'll just watch it when it comes out. So I get that. The problem though is you're going to tell me at the end of 2021, after they've made whatever they're going to make off of that, by not having to put it in theaters, by not having to go through all of that stuff and do all those things. Plus HBO Max is now notorious now that like they're going to take stuff off of the service, and they're going to license it out to other people. So they're going to make money over money on these properties.
Money on money.
Exactly. So they're going to make money on money. You're going to tell me 2022 is going to come, and then Warner Brothers, AT&T, whatever is just going to go, oh, yeah, let's go back to the old model there, where we had to pay all those theaters and we had to share the profits and we had to do all that stuff.
Tell you how they'll do it. I'll tell you how they'll do it. It's easy, because right now all these movie companies are losing billions and billions and billions of dollars. Like whenever our movie theater here, Trimark, Scotiabank, whatever, it's lost like $540 million so far this quarter, right? Because they can't show movies, no new stuff. So what's going to happen is these companies are going to go bankrupt, and a company like Time Warner or AT&T are going to buy these companies on pennies on the dollar, and they're going to own these things like Blockbuster should have done with Netflix. But what's going to happen is Warner Brothers is going to buy Trimark or whatever there is. It's going to be under their umbrella. They're not going to pay any licensing fees. They're going to own these theaters now.
Well, actually,
that's how it's going to happen. They're going to have their foot in both barrels.
It's funny
I'll
you say
come
that.
in after Jarbo, but say what you wanted to say.
Well, I was gonna say there was actually a law, or I guess like a ruling that worked against that. Like studios couldn't own theaters.
It's kind of like a monopoly in a sense.
Yeah, but that's now been overturned.
So
that's
then
now been overturned.
So that's in play then.
So yeah, because Disney owns the El Capitan Theater on Hollywood Boulevard, and but that's like one. I think Netflix just bought a theater. I think they bought the Egyptian. That was also in Hollywood Boulevard, and then
they did.
But the thing is, like with AMC getting ready to go bankrupt, like so the company I worked for that was called Regency, and they were the ones that the $3 theater I worked at. Regency is a shit company. F them to hell. But anyway, what they would do is someone could don't piss on them, just let them burn. Anyway, so I really hate that company. They put me through so much crap. But so
how do you really feel?
Oh, I can't say it here because it's not my stream. I'm trying to be polite to the young children in the room. And
Boulder Talk Radio weekdays at midnight.
No, that's effectively dead. But
until Matt decides he wants to get controversial again.
Yeah, it's dead until I want. Yeah,
unless when he decides that he wants to have a bolder take than everybody else. You set me up.
Feel free to boot
that was
him
pretty
for
rough.
That was pretty. That was
Matt, I finally made that meme for you.
Thank you. We're gonna put it in a trebuchet.
Twitter.
I just gotta. Did you? I think no. You sent that to me. I saw it the other day. I think right. The Indiana Jones one, right?
I have it. I actually have it up on my screen. Hold on. Share my screen right now. We're gonna have everybody see it now.
Oh, here we go.
It's a cute one. It's a cute one.
Oh.
Yeah.
Jarbo and Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones runs away from boulders.
That's right. I
saw nobody make that meme 2 years ago, and I've been wondering why. Matt, now that I made the meme,
all right. Yeah, I'll need to.
I like how he gloats it too.
Yeah. You gotta own the meme, guys.
I
That's
don't
how it
rent
works.
from
You gotta
that
own
shit.
the meme. Thank you very much for that. Though. I do appreciate the meme.
If there's someone who knows how you have to own the meme, trust me, it's me.
But what was I saying? It was something important, I think. Regency. They buy up. So what they do is they go and they buy up theaters that run out their lease. And so then they take it over, they lease the property, they bring in their stuff, they fix it up. That's kind of what these studios are going to do. They're going to wait for Regals to start letting their leases go on certain things, and they're going to go on in and probably take it over. And yeah, no licensing fees. Again, print and advertising is really where a lot of that money goes to. And if doing it here in the States, all the billboards, all the stuff that they do, I just don't want them to kill physical media. And I feel like that is like the next step. And like,
I don't think they will though, because there's still a market for that physical media.
But there's too much money. There isn't. There is there, but there isn't.
Exactly. Look, there is, but there isn't.
Same thing. This is what scares me, guys. Okay, here's the thing, is everybody's been saying, look, and I don't want physical media to go away either. Okay. Because I love physical media. I love being able to have a Blu-ray, man, and be able to have that movie. But here's the thing. Why would they want to give that to you? Where I buy this movie, I can watch this movie anytime I want. I don't have to pay for a service to do that. Look at Comcast. Look, I've got Comcast, and Comcast is constantly sending me commercials on my freaking cable telling me, buy this movie.
Yeah.
Why would I ever buy that through my cable company when the fact remains that as soon as I leave Comcast to go to another company or whatever later down the road,
how do you retain that? You can't retain it.
You don't retain it.
Yeah.
So there's that, but then also there's so Disney has taken all of their stuff, all their kids movies that your kids, Rasha brought up kids movies and stuff like that. Yeah, there's all these different things, but the thing is that they retained all of their stuff. And they're like, here it is, guys. And all of a sudden, in a few years, there's going to be some big kid movie that's going to come out that everybody's going to love because kids are going to love it. Adults are going to love it. Everybody's going to flock to that movie and really love that movie, right? Then they're going to say, oh, but we're going to do something different. We're not going to release this one on Blu-ray or 4K or anything. The only place that you can get this movie is on Disney Plus.
I have a sneaking feeling they're going to do that with The Mandalorian.
You don't get. Oh, I've already thought about that.
Yeah, they've got to put that on 4K. I need a physical copy of that.
That's what I'm saying, though.
Jarbo,
we're all going to wake up one day,
and they're going to say you can stream it in 4K, but that's about all you're going to get.
We're going to wake up one day, and they're going to say you can't get it unless you have it. So guess what? If you ever want to watch The Mandalorian or whatever that thing is, you're going to have that streaming service going forward.
Or
and the one thing
there's
I thought
always
of,
option B, if they don't release it to physical media, yo ho ho, pirate's life for me.
Yeah, but the thing, I get that, and like
look at Cisco's comment. I'm sorry, it was hilarious.
Too bad stormtroopers don't run away from bullets.
That was a good part of the episode.
They just shoot them.
Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah,
I was like, dude, run! What are you doing?
I know. It's like stormtroopers are stupid. Stormtroopers are so stupid. My God,
got to go down with the ship.
Look, I will say this. So before we get completely off, I will say that was the one thing about that Mandalorian episode that I kept going. How is it that there's like 2 or 3 of these people? There's Mando, there's Boba Fett, and what's her name, and like 2 ships worth of stormtroopers have landed now, and they're just dying off in droves, and like and the stormtroopers I love even look like they know what they're doing, because they're doing the whole whatever, and it's like you look like a military outfit, but you're literally just there to just get crushed.
You're red shirts. You're all red shirts.
Oh my
God! Well, you figure 5 years are probably not rolling many drills these days. They're all conscripted. They're just like put on the armor, get the hell out there, Johnson.
Right?
The janitor.
Yeah. One thing I thought of is a way that they'd probably be able to get you some extra stuff when it comes to, for example, HBO Max, is you have a telecom company that owns the movie and television side. You could probably get them a discount on the thing if you bundle it with the internet or something like that.
Well, there were talks a couple of years ago, rumors I had heard that Disney was talking about buying Verizon.
Well, or was it Verizon?
Verizon was talking about buying Disney? It was like some telecom company.
Yes.
Comcast almost did.
Could you imagine if Comcast bought? I mean, my God.
There was talk that Apple might buy Disney.
Oh, there was that. Yeah, because they had like $165 billion in cash.
Yes,
like Apple is insanely rich.
Insane. If they would have bought Disney, it's like nobody buys Disney.
Yeah, if they would have bought Disney, like the I just don't see the Mandalorian as happening. You know what I mean? Like, but I agree with you about the physical media versus the digital media, and everything. It's the accessibility of digital is easier, but there is like I just bought for Black Friday. I picked up The Shining, the new release of that, the new remaster of that in 4K, District 9 in 4K, and Ghost in the Shell in 4K. And for me, I'm like I've been collecting more 4Ks recently because I just like 4Ks and I like having that better medium. I don't want physical media to go away. I love doing the hunting for cool stuff. And the thing is, I think a lot of people are still not, because the DVDs still sell. DVDs still sell an overwhelming amount, even more than Blu-rays.
If
They do because they're cheaper
But
and they're more disposable as
Who
well.
the F still watches? I haven't watched a DVD in a long time.
I haven't bought a DVD in years.
Oh, you know what? There's been a couple of things that I've bought in because I've
But you own those, Tony. You didn't just go buy all those in the past 6 months.
True, I haven't bought a DVD in a couple of years, but I have a lot of them.
Right, exactly. But my question is that we like the idea of physical media. We do, right?
Look,
Our
if
age
it's
demographic.
not, I'll be honest
But-
with you, if it's not a big tent pole movie like a DC movie or a Star Wars movie or something like that, if it's just like a movie that I just like, that I just want to have, I'll settle for DVD if it's cheaper.
Well, now have you noticed now that they're bundling DVD with digital?
Well, yeah. Oh,
They've been doing that.
Well, I mean, like, yeah,
You
but
get
I mean,
digital, Blu-ray, and DVD.
Well, no, now just DVD
Yeah.
and digital. I've seen this at Walmart as well.
No
They started
Blu-ray? Or do you mean Blu-ray?
No Blu-ray. No Blu-ray.
Your Blu-ray.
DVD and digital. Yeah. So it's
What?
like if you, yeah, that caught me by surprise. I was, what movie was it? Like there was that Watson Holmes, that bad Will Ferrell movie.
Oh, Holmes and Watson.
Really?
Holmes, yeah, thank you, Holmes and Watson, yeah. So there's
Was a horrible movie.
even like
Terrible
what was it?
movie.
Walmart was selling
Ferrell.
Walmart was selling the Blu-ray of Godzilla 2014's Godzilla with the digital copy of Godzilla versus King of the Monsters. So it's like you bought the physical version of Godzilla and you got the digital code for that and the new. I mean, he's like, no, I want the physical copy of Godzilla. King of the Monsters. That movie is pure sex in my opinion. It's so good.
Two things real quick. First of all, DC Talk with Extended with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, DC Talk with Extended. Well, we got to get Nicotina up here.
Wow, and now we know what he does when he's by himself.
Oh. Every time he does that, all I can think of is like the old monkeys with the cymbals. It's like ding 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 ding. That being said, I know that Nicotina is getting ready to start his stream.
Yeah, so
the
I gotta
midnight
dip
run.
out. Yeah,
and so we'll be ending here in just a few minutes. But Nicotina, tell them where they can find you when they're done. When we're done here.
When you're done here, when you're done watching Point Extra Lounge, because it's an awesome show, and if you haven't done so already, subscribe. You can find me on YouTube as Nicotina Show. I'll be doing the midnight run, which starts about a minute ago. I haven't started yet, but I'm about to start right now. And we're going to be covering probably the same stuff that I just talked about. But I just got home from work, so I want to talk about it, and we're going to read the articles together. It's going to be a lot of fun. So,
and I will say this: I know you guys loved Crisis on Infinite Streams before, and that was because of this man right here, brought everybody together. And I'll tell you what, let me tell you something, guys. You know what, Nicotina, Andre is a great guy, and he has done so much. You guys just don't even know. Like I know that there aren't. I know that there are people who watch a lot of the rest of our streams that may not even know who Andre is, or aren't subscribed to him. Subscribe to this man, because you don't know what good he is doing for this community and for all of us streamers. There's many of us who are reaping the benefits of what he has done and what he's put together. And look, we talked about earlier tonight, Nicotina has a huge role in this, man. You want to, I mean, this was, dude, you were the one who got me into this. I mean, was this your idea?
Yeah.
It was your idea. I didn't want to speak for you just in case, because I that's what I thought. But this was your idea. Deck the Hall of Justice.
Yeah, so I collaborated. So basically, I reached out to a few other people, Meg, the Nerd Queens, ACS, and we kind of came together. And I said, "Hey, look, I have this idea. I think it'd be really cool if we all came together and did like a charity event to help raise money. It's Christopher Nolan. I mean,
I'm trying to get this thing up here.
You know, and I said, you know, the thing is that, you know, he set a goal for $50,000. And so I said, look, I have to at least say to myself that I did everything I could to help get us to that goal. And so I was able to assemble an amazing roster of shows that were all committed to the same goal, and they wanted to see it through. And there's actually, you know, so you saw that schedule, right? And so what we did was we decided to expand upon that. And so we're actually going to have a second slate of shows happening on the same day, but it's going to be an international slate of shows. And I'll talk about that later on, because I don't have a schedule to show yet, because we just kind of finalized that today. I have one meeting with one more show tomorrow morning, and then that will finalize it. And there'll be about 6 shows, 2 of which are in the UK. One of them is in Argentina, 2 of them are in Spain, and one of them is in Kuwait.
Wow.
And they were all part of this as well. And so, and basically we're all going to be streaming, all trying to help raise money for AFSP and to get that the Autumn Snyder Tribute Fund to the goal of $50,000 and past that as well. And so it's going to be a lot of fun. Each of the shows is setting up their own show, setting up their guests. So you know, don't be surprised if you see some pretty amazing guests you know, come across the screen on that day. It's gonna be pretty insane. And I'm working diligently to get as many as I possibly can, because I want it to be as entertaining, as fun as possible. We have a video submission portion of the event where you can submit 10 to 15 second videos. You know, you say whatever you want towards hopefully good things, to the Snyders, to AFSP, to the Snyder Cut movement. It's just basically giving the fans an opportunity to give them a voice, you know, so they can speak out on their experience with the Snyder Cut movement.
And I
with
put
Snyder's
that
films.
link in the description of this video. So,
yeah,
so you can go to the description of this video and
my good friend Krypton Cage is going to be putting together compilation videos of everyone's submissions, so that every show, hopefully, if we get enough of them, every show will have a video that will start the show, showing all the fans, you know, putting all their videos together, and there'll be a different one for every show. So, like, you know, that way we give everyone a shot at, you know, being a part of the event, even though they're not actually on the show, but we want to make them a part of the event by giving them a voice. And on top of that, there's another event that's going on. Why Not Stuff? That's the artist, Gonzo. He put together another event where you can submit images to him, which he will then add to this piece of art that he's working on, which is going to be really, really cool. And we're hoping to use that as a way of also selling T-shirts and stuff that all goes towards AFSP. So it's all for a good cause. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be on December 20th, and I really cannot wait for the 20th to get here, because we have a lot of cool stuff in store for you guys. And it's going to, thank you, Cisco. And it's going to be a lot of fun. Having said that, I'm going to jump over to my show. I don't even know who's over there right now, but I know somebody is probably there. So I will see you guys if you guys decide to join decide to come over. I'll even do this since you guys I know all you guys anyway. So there's the link right now if any of you guys want to jump over after you're done talking with the wonderful Enosh Fee, aka Enosh Fat.
Oh, you're awesome, man. You're awesome.
All right, you guys.
It's just a big love fest over here.
I know.
I don't know what that was, but okay.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
All right, man. We'll see you.
All right.
Take it easy.
Yeah. But yeah, I did want to read this article and talk about, like, because look, first it was just me saying this stuff, and people were I'll be honest with you, I took some flack about this, about not being too happy about where this was all going, you know, like where I feel that it's going and stuff. But then some other people now, and I like I said, I haven't read all this, so I know Christopher Nolan chimed in with a little bit. I've just heard the report, but I figured we'd take a look at this because I know Legendary Pictures is very upset about this because they stand to possibly lose some money or whatever. And I did hear that it was possibly just because Warner Brothers feels that they're in the right because they own because Legendary just had the right to say when the movies came out that they financed. But Legendary has been financing all these big movies for Warner Brothers, and they're ticked. They're ticked because they're like, yeah, you're going to put it in theaters, but it doesn't stand to make the money back that that we've invested. So the investment situation is different. You know what I mean? And look, I get it when I see people say, well, who cares about that? Well, guys, listen, somebody has to pay to make these movies up front. Right? We can't be naive enough to just say, well, who cares about these big corporations? Right? I know that sounds really great to say because, it rings for some people. It's the big corporations that invest the millions of dollars that make the movies, and they aren't doing that for charity, nor should they. You don't go to work for charity. You don't go, so I don't understand sometimes why people expect companies to make investments into stuff like it's for charity, but movies are not a charity. Movies are for our entertainment, and because there is a return usually on these investments. And so, but Christopher Nolan also, Christopher Nolan, and I don't know what his deal was with Tenet and all that stuff. And I know they went back and forth on some stuff, but you can see here the graphic, hear them kind of pulling the rug out from under Godzilla and Kong and Wonder Woman. And I don't know if that's supposed to be Will Smith back there. I don't know. Who knows? But it says too many insiders, Warner Media's blindsiding of talent and their reps with news that it would send 17 films directly to HBO Max in 2021 felt like an insult. For many in the movie business, producers, directors, stars, and their representatives, December 3rd, 2020 is a day that will live in infamy. Some of our industry's biggest filmmakers and most important movie stars went to bed the night before thinking they were working for the greatest movie studio and woke up to find out they were working for the worst streaming service. Filmmaker Christopher Nolan, whose relationship with Warner's dates back to Insomnia of 2002, said in a statement to The Hollywood Reporter. Now, he's calling Warner the worst streaming service. And I think, I don't know if that's fair, but added Nolan, Warner Brothers had an incredible machine for getting a filmmaker's work out everywhere, both in theaters and in the home, and they are dismantling it as we speak. They don't even understand what they're losing. Their decision makes no economic sense, and even the most casual Wall Street investor can see the difference between disruption and dysfunction. It says on that now famous morning, Ann Sarnoff, whose ungainly title is chair and CEO of Warner Media Studios and Networks Group and Warner Brothers, film studio chairman Toby Emmerich called the heads of the major agencies to drop a bombshell. Warner's was about to smash the theatrical window, sweeping its entire 17-picture 2021 film slate onto its faltering HBO Max streaming service, debuting them on the same day they would appear in whatever theaters could admit customers. Surprisingly to some in the industry, sources say the idea was the brainchild of Warner Brothers COO Carolyn Blackwood, who, looking at a relatively weak 2021 slate, saw an opportunity to avoid the humiliation of potentially bad grosses while currying favor with streamer-obsessed higher-ups. The instant response in Hollywood was outrage and a massive girding for battle. Warner's has made a grave mistake, says one top talent agent. Never has this many people been this upset with one entity. Like others, he had spent much of the day dealing with calls from stunned and angry clients. And that swooshing sound you hear, it's the lawyers stropping their blades as they prepare for battle. That Warner's was self-dealing in shifting these movies to its own streamer. Perhaps, or that the company acted in bad faith. Some talent reps say the decision affects not only profit participants, but others who have worked on films, as the movie might affect residual payments. They expect and hope that the guilds will get involved. The Writers Guild of America declined to comment. The Warner's move poses big, maybe even existential questions. How do theaters survive this supposedly one-time excused by the pandemic move? That's my question. Genies are hard to put back in the bottle, and no one believes Warner's intended this to be temporary anyway. That's what I was saying. What damage will be done to exhibitors by training customers that if they sit on their sofas, the biggest movies will come? And will Warner's face serious backlash from important producers, filmmakers, guilds, and on-screen talent? Warner's was the quintessentially talent-friendly, filmmaker-friendly studio, says one agent. Now Warner's isn't the first place, second place, or third place you want to go. Many in Hollywood think Warner Media opted for this drastic move to play to streaming infatuated Wall Street and redo the botched launch of HBO Max, which has netted a dismal 8.6 million activated subscribers so far. But one prominent agent notes that the top executives at Warner Media and its parent, AT&T CEO John Stankley, Warner Media CEO Jason Kilar, and of course Sarnoff, don't understand the movie business and they don't understand talent relations. Well, is it Kilner or Kyler? I don't know. Keeler pays what is seen as lip service to movies. Industry veterans say Warner's is sacrificing the huge profit that comes from selling movies in multiple formats and on multiple platforms around the world. We just got done talking about that. Blu-rays, DVD, all that stuff.
It's not just like Spotify though, doing the same thing to the music industry. And
well, you bring up a good point there, Tony, and that was my point. Is the movie or the music industry has been completely gutted. Artists don't make anything. People don't give a second crap about stealing music, because music has become worthless to society. What used to be an art form that people loved and appreciated, now it is totally crapped on. They just don't care. And I say that as a musician. It's just what's happened. So even before Warner's made its play, there was grumbling among agents that Sarnoff, who has been on the job for more than a year, had yet to get acquainted with key players on the film side or make much of an impression at all. That's why many are focusing their wrath on Emmerich. Toby's passion is only about managing up, says one agent who represents major Warner's talent. By the weekend following the announcement, Emmerich was calling important filmmakers with projects set for 2022 to assure them that their movies wouldn't be dropped on the streaming service without warning, as if anyone would believe he had any control over the situation, says one producer with a major Warner property. Toby probably had a really bad weekend. Not that I feel bad for him, says one agent. According to a source, Emmerich tried to soothe In the Heights director John M. Chu by pointing out that the movie was still getting a global theatrical release, but industry insiders say the studio is pretending that pirates won't pounce as soon as these films are streaming on HBO Max. As soon as one does, there's an excellent version of the movie everywhere immediately, notes one industry veteran. Warner Media's decision to attack without warning may be understandable given the blowback that was foreseeable, but to many insiders, blindsiding talent with their reps seemed like an insult. Sources say studio president Courtney Valente was the only Warner exec who dared to speak up about the need to reach out to key creative partners, but she was quickly hushed. And that kind of talked about Legendary Pictures, because Legendary Pictures has been a partner of Warner Brothers. I don't know if they still do, but at one point they had offices on the lot. They were a valued partner, and that was Legendary's whole point in their filing, was that they weren't even approached about this. They were not even informed about this. They were not part of the solution. this just was dropped on them as the investors in these movies. It says much of this outrage will surely be mitigated if Warner Media is prepared to write big checks to all the profit participants in the films that have been moved. And we'll talk about that in a minute, because that has come out what the payment schedule is actually going to be like. It's a critical time for them at the highest level to make this right with the talent, says one rep, but agents say the guidance that's been provided so far suggests that the company isn't planning to offer what is now called Wonder Woman money in honor of the rich deal the studio gave profit participants in Wonder Woman 84 when that film was moved to HBO Max. Warner Media had to shovel tens of millions at Gal Gadot and the other key players because the company wants a third in the series, but that sets the bar high. Sources say even Suicide Squad director James Gunn, who is platform agnostic, was not pleased when the studio followed its shocking announcement by floating a lackluster formula for compensating him and other profit participants in the film. At minimum, Warner Media has opened a door to arduous negotiations with the major agencies over compensation for multiple profit participants in 17 movies. Did the Warner's numbers crushers in projecting the cost of premiering its entire 2021 slate on HBO Max factor in the cost of widely anticipated legal challenges? Industry insiders believe Warner Media may have opened itself up to those, especially as it is selling the movies at its own streaming platform when none of the profit participants has had a chance to figure out what Apple or Netflix might have paid for the opportunity to stream their projects day and date. Allegations of self-dealing are almost sure to follow. Many think Legendary will be the first to file a legal challenge, which they did. The company fired off a previous lawyer letter after Netflix offered something north of $225 million for the rights to Godzilla vs. Kong, which has seen its release date move from March 2020 to November to May 2021. Though Legendary financed 75% of the movie, Warner's had the power to block the sale and did. Legendary asked whether the studio would then give it a deal to stream the movie on HBO Max and got no clear answer until its executives woke up one December morning to find that the movie was going day and date on the service without the benefit of a negotiation. Legendary's even more expensive picture, Dune, that's a crazy thing with Dune, is getting the same treatment. And other companies that finance Warner's movies, Village Roadshow and Braun, are also said to be aggravated parties that might end up going to court. And then there's the talent. Dune director Denis Villeneuve is said to be Villeneuve.
I just start calling him TV.
Yes, silent.
That's a weird. Yeah, it's a weird name.
Yeah.
It's said to be
He's French Canadian.
Okay, it's said to be among those who Denny is said to be among those who felt most strongly that a traditional big screen release was essential for his film, which I would agree for Dune. Chu, who along with Lin-Manuel Miranda went through an intense courtship with multiple suitors for In the Heights, and who had turned down a huge Netflix offer for Crazy Rich Asians because he cherishes the communal theatrical experience, told an associate he was shell-shocked after being informed of the Warner's decision. Sources say Warner Media insiders have been hoping that Disney will follow its lead and shift its slate to streaming. But Disney, which had $7 billion grossing movies last year, isn't about to do that. Instead, it is moving some films to streaming, as it had with Hamilton and Artemis Fowl, like Cruella and more. But an agent notes that the way Disney has handled the shift stands in stark contrast to what Warner's has done. They didn't do a unilateral thing, he says, adding that studio executives made preemptive calls to talent and their reps that helped smooth the process. It's also worth noting that Disney Plus, which has dwarfed HBO Max in terms of subscribers, has gotten a lot of mileage out of one original hit, The Mandalorian, which is based on an iconic movie property. There's never been a full-fledged franchise blockbuster launched on a streaming service. observes an executive at Warner's at a Warner's competitor. It starts with theaters and it starts with opening weekend. And so far, those blockbusters have been the ones that generated merchandise sales and theme park attractions. So, I mean, it just goes on and on here. Like they're just, everybody's upset. Nobody is happy. What it just basically ends. It just basically says now you've gone from that being you had a decades-long legacy as being known as the most talent-friendly studio. This is from who is this from? It's from somebody. Herman Mankiewicz, maybe. It says now you've gone from that to a studio that is starburst colors lit up, a sign that says we don't give an F about talent. So when we hear that, I know that's a lot to listen to and a lot to read, but here's the thing. That's why I'm concerned about this, because there's a lot there that I don't think the average person who's just going, well, I want to see the movie at home, is thinking about.
That's why I said, I think movies are going to start going the way of music, and it sucks. I don't want to see it. Like you and I are old enough now, that we've seen things come and go. Like for me and TW down there, I watched my paper money go away. $1 bills, $2 bills, $5 bills. It's gone. I have coins now, and it drives me insane.
I've always had them.
It just hate it. You know what I mean? But I think we're at that point now where we're not going to be able to stop this stupid crap from happening. And it's going to be people like you and me. And there's a theater here in Vancouver called the Rio that was actually saved by Kevin Smith, Ryan Reynolds, and Seth Rogen.
Right on.
So they saved this movie theater called the Rio here. And it's going to take people like that saving private theaters, I think, and like I said before, the only way we're going to see stuff in theaters is when they start buying these theaters. That's it. Yeah, and I think they're going to buy these theaters. And that's we're always going to have theaters as long as we're around, because I think these major studios will buy their own theaters and go from there.
Yeah, but where is the Warner Brothers theater going to be? It's not going to be in a smaller market. The Disney theater is not going to be in a smaller market.
Why not? I mean, they buy the company that owns all of the theaters. So it's just basically branding at that point. They changed Trimark to Disney. They're buying the whole thing pennies on the dollar because of this COVID thing. Right? I think these companies are going to bankrupt themselves, and these bigger companies are just going to eat them like little fish and then use that media platform without having to actually do anything about it.
Yep. Alrighty, guys, I'm gonna take my leave. It has been a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, we're closing down here. It's just this is the thought of the night. This is something I know that a lot of us are passionate about. I mean, movies bring us all together.
Yeah,
and
I am too. It's just I'm just out of energy.
Oh no, you're good.
But
man.
It's been a lot of fun, and it's been
Love
great
you, buddy.
to see you guys. And
all right, buddy.
So have yourselves a good night, man.
All right, man. We'll talk to you
Take
later.
care, everybody.
Yeah, like I said, it can definitely be exhausting. It's definitely a it's troubling right now for me, because I'm a fan of movies, and to not know what the next step is, what's going to happen next, how these things are going to play out. It could be everything from these companies buying up, like you said, Tony, these movie companies and putting out movies still in theaters, all the way to saying, forget it. What's the point? I don't know. Let's go around the horn real quick. Matt, did you have something about that?
Yeah, I mean, Nolan pushed for Tenet to be in theaters.
Yeah.
And then everyone knew that was a bad idea.
Yeah.
And internationally it made 300 million. Locally, domestically, it made 50.
Yeah.
And so Warner's is like, okay, that was a canary in the coal mine, which we talked about that. Disney didn't want Mulan to be the canary in the coal mine. They wanted that to be $1 billion hit in China, which it wasn't. So they released it for $30, and no one talks about that being the end of everything.
Yeah.
You know, and then when Disney has in 2 days their earnings call, right? They're gonna showcase the new plan. They're gonna talk about their new plan for everything. So that's gonna probably tell you that a lot of the stuff's gonna go to Disney Plus, because Disney Plus, Warner's with HBO Max, and other outlets have said that they're gonna start focusing their effort on streaming content, because that is where they know the money is. So, you know, I understand the concept behind people being mad about theaters, but these people need to make money to produce content. And
But what about these guilds though? Like what about the unions and everything?
Well, the unions, I mean, a lot of
And
that,
like how these people get paid and everything.
yeah, well, that's going to be a bit. I wouldn't be surprised if a strike doesn't come from it, to be honest with you. We're kind of overdue for one anyway. It's been 12 years since the writer's strike, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I foresee coming from all this that no one's talking about? Remember when Frank Darabont sued AMC over the Walking Dead?
Yeah.
You're going to see that on steroids.
Well, the thing is, yes, suing in Hollywood is not like suing in real life. You know, everyone does it in LA and it means nothing. It really doesn't. Like, it's not like it's a malicious act to sue somebody or whatever. Like, it's not, there's no hard feelings. It's just, there's just so much money that goes around. So the reality of it is this, you know, whether or not movies go to movie theaters, that does not mean that the audience is going to go. That is the factor that no one is talking about. If people do not believe that it is safe, because we are seeing record numbers of cases every day, record amounts of deaths every day, in this country where the problem is happening. In other countries, I saw a video pop up last night out of Australia where they were at a rock concert. And that's because they shut down and they had so many strict rules in place that it was able to flatten the curve. And they were able to get to a spot where life could go back to normal. We here in this country, and I don't care what your political ideology is, we here in this country absolutely fucked that up, pardon my language. Because, you know, California is in another lockdown, right? Because people would not listen. My brother right now is in Oklahoma with his girlfriend, who both of her parents, mom and stepdad, caught COVID, both died within the last week and a half.
Jesus
People are dying every day.
We're locked down here in Vancouver again.
Exactly. And we're locked down here in Washington. But you get to these more red areas, and this is where it does get a bit political, is these people do not want to believe. Because the leadership in this country did not make it an emphasis to believe. And so this is the consequence of that. So if you're mad that theaters are shutting down, if you're mad that this is where it's going, we can trace it back to people being dumbasses and not taking this thing seriously, because this is what happens when you play stupid games. You win stupid prizes.
Sure.
The theaters will come back. Okay? Make no mistake. It's like sporting events. They'll come back. People will always justify entertainment. The movie theaters, concerts, operas, plays, sporting events, they're part of our pop culture. They're part of our society. They're part of who we are. People will always go. It will take time to get back. But the thing is, people need to stop living in this instant gratification world. Because instant gratification is what is killing us, literally. Because we can just go to the store and, you know, not care. Oh, well, I went to Walmart today. Everyone was wearing a mask. I didn't wear a mask because everyone was wearing one. Why should I wear one? And then you catch it and you go, where did I get it from? I don't know. But it's because people aren't taking it seriously enough. And that is the issue. That is the reality. And I'm not trying to be a Debbie Downer at the end here.
Yeah,
it's the truth of it. And I'm trying to, you know, like, I'm not, you know, I'll get called like, oh, a liberal cuck or whatever. But it's like, when I worked for the census, man, we had to wear masks all the time. And I met so many people that just didn't believe. They didn't want to believe. That's what it boils down to, Enosh. They don't want to believe.
Yeah.
They don't want to think that something like this can affect them because they've spent their whole life in an affluent enough country to where they haven't ever had to worry. And the first time we are dealing with something like this on this level, what do? Well, my rights. Oh, well, wearing masks is tyranny.
Yep.
Are you effing kidding me? You can still leave your house. You can go to the store. We just can't do big public gatherings right now. That's all it is. But people are equating it to like their personal liberties and their personal freedoms. And they're falsifying all this stuff, and they're running with fake news. And this is why theaters are dead. This is why you can't go. It's not because necessarily the market is responding. That is why I am not upset at what Warner Brothers is doing, and all of this posturing and chest thumping that's coming out of these people is all because they're afraid of the status quo changing. And you know what?
Yep.
They should be, because people didn't effing listen. And so now the whole thing is on its ear. And Warner's is doing what they feel is best. AT&T is doing what they feel is best, because you know what? At the end of the day, the long game is they'll win. They will win because people will. It's all about money, and people will spend the money. You know, right now, HBO Max subscriptions are already skyrocketing. We haven't even had anything new yet, but they're already skyrocketing because people are going to get it. You know, and so all of that Hollywood Reporter article that's like, oh, the dismal numbers of HBO Max. Oh my goodness, whatever, dude. They've got, you know, what, 8 million people. They said there were 30 million HBO accounts. So it's like those counts automatically get upgraded to HBO, you know, HBO Max, right? So it's like they're you know, it's not as bad as it looks. It's better than Quibi. Jeez, everything was.
Oh yeah, well they're going. They're officially
gone. They're gone.
Yeah,
I actually finally
done.
uninstalled the app on the first. I was like, I went to go check it out, and it was gone. I'm like, well,
I never had it. Never had it.
There was
some
good content. There was some good content on there. There really was. It just they screwed it up. But the thing is, it's like, you know, HBO Max is going up against Netflix and Disney during a pandemic, right? Peacock. No one's talking about Peacock because no one cares.
I have Crave.
No.
I like Crave.
Crave is, you know, Shudder is blowing up. Shudder is blowing up this year because Shudder is doing horror, and everyone, you know, it's a good price, and it's niche marketing. It's
Crave gives me HBO Max, I'm pretty sure.
Okay. Well, isn't that that's a Canadian? Yeah, that's a Canadian thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think that's how I get HBO Max is through Crave TV.
Yeah, like I mean, like I just pay for it and watch it on my Google Chrome. But the whole point is that, like, you know, we will probably not be able to really go back to theaters until 2022, realistically.
Yeah.
God, I hope not.
And I know that sucks because we as a society, we are effectively losing 2 years of culture. We're getting it in other ways, but think of it like this. Look at what the NFL, what the NBA, what the MLB is trying to do, right? They play games to empty stadiums, and they pump in crowd effects, artificial crowd sounds, in order to try to trick your brain into watching this. And the thing is, the ratings are abysmal because people aren't dumb when it comes to this kind of stuff subconsciously. But
look, I'm a Dodgers fan, man, and the Dodgers won the World Series this year, and I didn't watch a single game.
Yeah.
And I'm a Dodgers fan, and I've wanted them to win, dude. I've been a huge Dodgers fan, and I've told my son for the last however many years that, you know, that they've been in the playoffs and, you know, even in the World Series and stuff. And I've told, you know, because I keep teasing my son, you know, because he's an Astros fan and he's, you know, a fan of others, and I'm just like, oh, the Dodgers are going to win this year. Dodgers are going to win, and then this year they're in the series, they win, and I didn't watch a game. So
I have to give WWE all the credit for basically having the virtual crowd there, though.
I like what Matt and Trey did in Seattle. Was it last week or 2 weeks ago during the football game? Because it costs a certain amount of money to put like a fake head in the stadium.
I heard it's like $450, $500.
So they bought out the stadium and put all their South Park characters in the stadium.
That was in Denver.
Did they really?
Yeah, sorry, it was in Denver.
Did they really?
Yes.
That is freaking amazing.
It was all like South Park characters in like their Denver Broncos jerseys and stuff.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
That's fantastic. Cool. That's a fantastic idea.
Well, to be fair, South Park does take place in Colorado, so
yeah, absolutely.
It makes sense.
Absolutely.
I unfortunately lived there for 20 years.
Yeah, no.
Nobody has a word to say.
No, I know. I was like, Denver. Okay.
No,
The Broncos suck. That's all I'm going to say.
yeah.
But I actually got to run because
I'm bringing it to an end. I would just say this, guys.
Before we bring it to an end, there's one thing I want to mention. Remember the last stream I was on, I predicted that Matthew Lillard was going to be the serial killer in Scream 5.
Yeah.
He just came out in an interview on Entertainment Tonight, basically confirming he was going to be the original killer in Scream 3.
Wait, Matthew Lillard?
Yes.
Really?
That's how they were going to try. That's how they were going to tie the trilogy together. Was that he was going to be controlling the serial killer from Scream 2 and Scream 3 from his prison cell. He was originally going to come back and he was going to be training other serial killers from his prison cell, but 3 weeks before it started shooting, 3 weeks before the movie started shooting, Columbine happened. So the movie went through extensive rewrites, and then just shortly after that, it had leaked on the internet. Keep in mind, the internet of 1999, that Matthew Lillard was going to be in Scream 3. So they decided to just rewrite the ending entirely because the filmmakers thought that was such a big spoiler that, well, there's only one reason to bring back Matthew Lillard because he supposedly died in the first one.
That's interesting.
Yeah. I have the Entertainment Tonight link. I'm going to put it in the regular chat if you guys want to go and watch that interview.
Yeah.
3, 2,
I do love the Scream franchise. I do like the Scream franchise.
Me too. I'm interested to see what they do for part 5.
Oh, the fact that the guys who did Ready or Not are doing it has me so excited. Have you seen Ready or Not yet?
Which one's that?
That's the one with Samara Weaving, where they play the game of hide and seek.
Oh yes.
Yeah. I finally watched it not too long ago. I just that was so good.
Yeah,
that
was a great movie.
I do want to say real quick. Here's a recommendation for everybody: go watch Fat Man.
I plan on it.
The new Mel Gibson.
Yep.
It is as the kids say. Kino.
Oh, yes. I highly suggest it as well. It's very good.
Yeah, it's. I had a Mel Gibson double feature the other night. There's this one I found. So I kind of found it on the high seas, but it's a Mel Gibson movie called Boss Level. Have you heard of this one? So it's Joe Carnahan, the director of The Grey and Smokin' Aces, and he did a movie. It's basically like it's a spin on Groundhog Day, where Frank Grillo wakes up every morning and has all these assassins trying to kill him, and he's trying to figure out why. And as he's uncovering everything, like it talks about more or less like time travel, like resetting the day. Think like Edge of Tomorrow.
Yeah.
But like it's super violent, it's super bloody. Mel Gibson is the bad guy.
Nice.
And it's the weird thing is like someone told me that it was online. Like, all right, so I found it, and then I can't. The movie was just bought by Hulu. It comes out next year, and I'm like, I don't even know where they got this 1080p copy of it. So that's the other thing too, is like I would buy the movie. It's good, but it's like I don't know where they got this particular copy of the film that I saw. So, but it's really good, and when you get the chance to check it out, it's
absolutely. Well, as we bring the evening, to a close, I think we're all just passionate because we love movies. Earlier we were talking about Kingsman. Did you hear this idea that they got like 7 more Kingsman movies?
I'm
planned?
So on board with that. I'm so on.
I'm
board.
not. I hate
We'll talk about that.
Movies.
Maybe we'll talk about that at another time. But yeah, 7 more movies. I don't know.
And a TV series.
And a TV series.
And
I don't know. Is there enough?
I think that's a little pulling the cart before the horse.
Well,
Thank you.
It's the thing is, okay, the concept though is that it's a mockery of a gentleman spy concept.
Yeah, it's James Bond.
So if you think about it like this, Kingsman 1 mocked the Sean Connery, satirized, I think is a better term, satirized the Connery Bond films. Kingsman 2 was more Roger Moore. So Kingsman 3, you're thinking probably going to be more Pierce Brosnan, maybe not so much Timothy Dalton.
Well, wait a minute. Wouldn't that be Daniel Craig? Because Kingsman 3 is going to be a prequel, and Daniel Craig was a straight up reboot.
Kingsman is not the Kingsman is a prequel, but it is not Kingsman 3. Kingsman 3 will end the Eggs and the Eggsy and the other guy, Colin Firth's story, right? Like that. So no, they are planning a 3rd movie with Taron Egerton and Colin Firth. Like that is going to end the trilogy for them. And then they're talking about doing a spinoff of The Statesman, which is the American branch. So it's going to be spinoff upon spinoff upon spinoff, Either way, I'm on board, man. I love those movies.
There you go. There you go. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I appreciate each and every one of you. I appreciate everyone who's been on the panel tonight, and then of course everyone who's been in the chat. You guys are all fantastic and awesome. You guys make the Poindexter Lounge what it is, man. You guys make it fun for sure. Real quick, Mladen, where can people find you, buddy?
Mostly nowhere. I'm off Twitter for good this time. But I'm on Discord. I think it's just MK, and on Instagram. That's where you can find me. But I'm mostly having fun on Instagram.
Awesome.
Not doing much.
Well, there you go. Tony, where can people find you, sir?
Well, usually with you sometimes.
I know.
Other than that, I'm on Twitter as well. It's just Tony Bumbacco at Twitter.
Awesome.
That's about it. I'm only on there every once in a while because I'm an old man and I don't.
We're just the boomers, Gary. Or we're just the. I'm looking at Gary's name at the same time I'm saying we're just a bunch of boomers there. Gary, what? Where can people find you, sir? In your channel?
Well, I do have a YouTube channel called Metropolis Radio. Exactly how it is spelled along the screen right here. I wonder if my finger's actually getting in there. This is a little weird. I am also on Twitter. I am at Metropolis. Again, exactly how it is spelled on screen right here. And yeah, so Matt, if you'll respond to my Twitter message.
What
the heck?
I don't know. I just felt like being cynical and pessimistic.
Nah.
You? I would never ever think that was a thing. Maybe.
Matt Jarbo's channel description. I'm cynical and bolder than the rest.
Oh my god.
I'm never gonna stop that.
Oh my god. Kill me. Just
oh wow. Wow. It's so bad. It's so bad.
It's so bad it's funny.
Do you want to hear what's bad is my rant went on so long that no one commented in the chat for literally 10 minutes.
It's actually that good. It's actually that good.
Because I'm looking at like right now 1240 to 1250. I'm like, wow. All right.
It's all right, Matt. Hey, but Matt, where can people find you, sir?
I don't know.
I mean, what channels are you going to keep? By the way, I don't know how Gary. I thought I was subscribed to you. I am your 25th subscriber, sir.
All right.
So,
cool.
I have subscribed to you, sir.
Yeah, I'm doing $3 Theater. I'm still, and I'm doing like the true crime stuff.
Oh, I'm sorry. If that's true, you get. I don't know. YouTube is. I saw that YouTube is messing some stuff up lately. So whatever. I'm a subscriber. Anyways, I don't know if your number's right. All right, go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
Oh no, that's it. You guys can just find me over there.
Over where now?
$3 Theater is probably the best place.
Okay, $3 Theater. Hey, you know what? All good things, right, man? And I love $3 Theater, man. That's old school. That's old school Matt Jarbo right there.
Yeah. Sure.
I love you, Matt. I've missed you, man. I've missed you. We haven't been on a stream together in a while.
No, I know. I thought about taking some time off of streaming, because everyone streams right now. Everyone's streaming, so I'm just kind of like, it's not special. You know, no, it's just that's
like there wasn't millions of people streaming before.
Well, I mean, like, yeah, I just haven't had it in me. I've been so busy. Had my kid's birthday last week, you know, and then it's like, you know how it is where you're like, okay, I want to set aside time to get work done.
Mm-hmm.
And then it just never happens the way you want it to happen.
Yeah, no, I hear
so that's like my life in a nutshell. You know, and then tonight I was interviewing like potential killers, so that was
you were talking about that. Yeah,
I just wish I could release the audio, man. I'll tell you about it off air, but like, because it's crazy, but like I can't talk about it publicly yet.
That's
my
cool.
gosh,
that's cool. All right, guys. Well, hey, thanks to everyone. It's so much fun to always be with you guys. It's so much fun to hang out and to chill and to just talk shop, talk about movies, talk about these things that we love so much. And look, we're passionate about them. And look, whatever happens in the next year or two, I just hope that we still have movies to watch and that the stuff gets worked out, because that's That's what it's all about. Thank you again to all my members. Appreciate you guys all. Appreciate all the Patreon subscribers and everyone who gave super chats tonight. Thank you guys. You guys are awesome. I think that's Tom Hanks Ballsack and
DC.
Yeah, DC with extended. So thank you, man. Thank you guys both. You guys are both awesome, and we appreciate you both. Look for information coming up real soon about this, about the brick that we're putting in for Zack Snyder. That is currently in motion right now, and so we look to have that up and going soon. Don't forget, it's holiday time. Go to the Milee Store on eBay. You can find the link down in the description where you can get 10% off your purchase. If you mention the Poindexter Lounge or toys, buy 2 get 1 free. All right, and don't forget, free comic book giveaway of the week. Until next time, my name is Enosh, aka Enosh Fett. Along with all these guys, you can find me on Twitter, you can find me on Instagram, you can find me on Facebook between Enosh and then all of the Poindexter Lounge sites. All those links are also in the description below, as well as our very popular Miss Tiftastic, who, don't forget, tomorrow night she will be on the League of Mayhem with Ray Porter. She gets to talk to Darkseid tomorrow, and I'm super proud of her, super excited for her. And so, like I said, don't forget, coming up here pretty soon, guys, on the 20th, you're going to want to be right back here at 1 p.m. Eastern time from 1 to 3, because it's going to be fire. It's going to be amazing what's coming up, and I look forward to being able to share all that with you guys soon. Like I said, ladies and gentlemen, it's always fun to have you guys here. And look, don't let anybody tell you that your nerddom or your fandom doesn't matter. You know what? Stand for what you believe. Stand for what you know is true. And make sure, though, that you do it with respect, that you respect one another, and, you know, treat people the way that you would want to be treated. Not like that lady treated whoever else, you know, over on Matt Jarbo's channel. Until next time, guys, stay nerdy. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.